welcome back to Métropole Grid. My name is Andre. Thanks so much for tuning in. It's a Thursday evening, the 7th of March, 2024. 'Twas the night before spoilers begins, and all through the house, not a thing was stirring, not even, I think the only Netrunner card that rhymes here is Gauss. I didn't look it up. I just know all the Netrunner cards that rhyme. How's everyone doing? Hopefully you're well. It's an exciting time in Netrunner. Let me get show on chat. Chat's been going off. I think we have some goofy lore in the stream chat. I believe it. It's not an easy word to rhyme with. Well, it is, but like, we can do this, right? Aus. No? There's nothing that says aus prefix. Okay. So then you think aus. Nothing that ends with aus. So then you go to like aus, no. And then the best you have is like ow. I think you just get Gauss. Or not even a mouseless. Not even a mouseless. That breaks the rhyming structure. But like, it's cool. Let me catch up on stream. How's it going? Not even a Faust? You think Faust rhymes with mouse? It's a French word. You do not say the T at the end. C'est seulement false. C'est false. C'est funhouse? Oh, funhouse is actually good. How did that not show up on my house search? Clearinghouse? Not even a house of knives. Okay, never mind. This whole section was flawed fundamentally because everyone was actually better at it. Faust is slant rhyme, I think. We don't do slant rhyme here. That's like specifically a UK thing, I think. They have all their slang based off of slant rhyme. In fact, they call it slang rhyme. I think those are two different things. Carrying on. Daria, how's it going? What are you doing here? Why are you here? It's weird. Lucille, how's it going as well? Stab, Cole, welcome. Mary Scoops Week Eve. Kyle, how's it going? I'm excited too. I haven't played in-person Netrunner at a LGS since 2018. And last night was the first time our new meetup started up. Did you get to go? That's sick. Which reminds me, I need to pre-order RWR for the group. Yes, you can pre-order RWR. It is available. I haven't done my pre-order yet, but let me tell you, this is where I'm going to make a rant about not pre-ordering games. And she gets really upset at me. Yeah, you should pre-order it. It's gonna be fine. Stab, God, I can't wait. I may not get to play a lot of Netrunner, but the cards are always sick. I love looking for silly combos and skateboard tricks. So spoilers for those who are not plugged in start tomorrow. Those will be official NSG spoilers. I think they'll do one article a day. Usually it's more than one article because it's like an article and then like a narrative beat. I'm guessing we're going to see the IDs. I'm pretty sure NSG always reveals the IDs. I don't think community reveals IDs unless I'm messing something up pretty bad. I guess I spoiled what I don't have. Yeah, so I'm assuming that we're going to have a good idea of what we're working with on a functional level, and then we'll just see like the bits and bobs trickle in, which is a good way of doing it, I reckon. Yo, Daojen, how's it going, man? Looking forward to new sweet tech cards. Seems like a good time to dump. Okay, here we go, Brennan. I actually wanted to know this. I was thinking about this after the last stream ended because you said you would and you didn't. Why Goofy is in the Silent Hill universe, so I don't eat into stream time. Well, here we go, Brennan. Nice try. Mickey and Goofy are friends. Mickey and Bugs Bunny share the screen in Who Framed Roger Rabbit, the film. Bugs Bunny and Batman fight in Multiverses. Batman and Joker are also good pals. Joker is in Mortal Kombat, so is Jason Voorhees. It sounds like a 14-year-old's fan fiction. Jason and Freddy fight it out in Jason versus Freddy. Freddy is in Dead by Daylight. Pyramid Head is also in Dead by Daylight. Ergo, Goofy could be the next Silent Hill protagonist. Infinite Craft. I saw a video about this today. I don't know if this is like a trendy thing, but there is this like, yeah, this thing. Some sort of website, some sort of game. Here we go. In which you can take elements, and I don't know how this works. I think it works off of Google. And basically you combine two things. So that will add a water and a fire. And then you combine them and makes a thing. And then that thing now becomes part of your library. And this is basically like the Wikipedia game that in theory, we're able to make Netrunner. Do you all want to try and make Netrunner on this? I know that Nod again is waiting for us to play his deck list of the week. And this is called Suspense. This is really good. This is a good way to structure things. Oh man, Goofy Netrunner when? What weird niche connects those two things? It's just the Wikipedia game. Yo, Neon Static, how's it going? I forgot it was Thursday. Get a hang out and watch while working with Scoops Graphics. How's your Scoops Graphics going? I just started mine yesterday, and I'm in over my head. Wee! Yeah, buckle up. Do you have a date that your Scoops stuff is going out? I don't know if you've advertised that or not. Actually, I was assuming you had Scoops. That's probably the first exciting point. What does Goofy wield? SW500 Bone Collector. Oh, he uses a shield. Not again copy pasted something incorrectly. I was saying Neon Static, me working on Scoops, handshake. Oh, nice. I keep forgetting Kingdom Hearts exists. I don't know what COM is. David, Clayton, hey. Okay, now I'm caught up, sort of. I have my stuff, 2-player playmat, 2 system gateway copies, and extra decks for running some demos at the con at the end of the month. Yo, David, the con is where you're at that part of the world? Sad to say I'm going to miss much of this as I try and TIA respective video out. Oh, for spoiler season, Jeff, that's a really good video idea. I think it's we put out a video yesterday talking about, what's it called, about like our musings on the upcoming set, and like this sort of content, mind you, I have to respond to the comments, but like what's it called, the interaction was really quite good. I was excited to put this out. I was like, this is a reasonable idea, why don't we talk about this, just like have a little soapbox and talk about what we're expecting, and people seem to really like it. So that's sort of like retrospective thing, I think is a really good idea, Jeff. We'll come back, Jeff, mind you, daily casts start tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern. We'll get back to that. Let me catch up continually on chat. It sounds awful. Do it. Except they say anything that anyone makes so the results are consistent. They save anything that anyone makes. Wait, for this? That would have made days much easier. Our scoops are going to be on Monday. Bonus live stream. Oh, for real? That's sick. In-person stuff too, huh? Okay. It's okay. Make Not Again wait. He deserves it for making that deck. Tell me about it. Glad also to hear both of you will have fancy graphics, not just be sliding them in over my face. Jeff, that is good enough. That's a good way of doing it. 3rd day in a row, Metropolitan working overtime. It wasn't that bad. Funny enough, so this happens more often than not, is that things sometimes I'd record more than once. So the first time I recorded this, it was too long. And then I had a window on like, I think Monday between 2 things. I was like, I got an hour and a half. Do I think I can do it in an hour? And so I did it really quickly. And then editing, it wasn't that bad because it's straightforward. But yeah, we've been kind of busy here. We're going to continue to be really quite busy. The weekends are busy. The netrunning content is busy. Mind you, Jeff and I locked down dates to record our upcoming, correct tier list. So like there's a lot more video stuff to come, obviously. And then the week that the set comes out, we'll be streaming a heck of a lot. If you go somewhere, nobody's gone before, they ask an LLM about it. Otherwise, they just find it in the database. Oh, that makes sense. See if you can make Not Against deck on Infinite Craft. Okay, hold on. Is this like a really known thing that I missed out? Like this is a trendy thing? Because I only saw this recently. So I would say that it's a mixture of fire. Well, we have to build like the parts. Like how do you build Mwanza? Mwanza is water and earth. That makes plant. Okay. Fire plant is smoke. Smoke and steam are the same. This is compelling content. It will take us a really long time to get to Netrunner. We need to get to people first, right? So plant and plant is tree. Tree and tree is forest. Forest and forest is jungle. Obviously jungle and jungle is forest again. Smoke and earth is volcano. How do I make a person? Water and earth, probably. Fire and plant is not a good... It was briefly trendy. It does take a while to get anywhere goofy in my experience. Yeah, that's the part that I'm excited, is that we can get to that. I just don't know. How do you get to like humanity? Because I only got source elements and then a lot of different kinds of trees. Plant, like I'm assuming water's and probably fire is integral, but like fire is really aggressive the way that works with this. Like we keep getting steam using rotated cards. SMH. Hey Kyle, how's it going? Like we can get Faust in this eventually. Wind and forest is tornado. This seems like we're going down the wrong path. Tornado and tree is wood, which is different than forest. Wait, wood is important for people. Wood and plant. Wood and wood is going to be a structure. It's a tree. I don't like this. It's a lot easier to get very specific people than to humanity in general. Like if I had person and I did like person plus jungle, it would have to give me Tarzan, right? Because that's the only jungle person we know. Oh, maybe Mowgli. Those are all the jungle people I knew. Anyways, I don't think we have time for this, but I wonder if someone's ever gone to Netrunner. I'm pretty sure you can. I just don't know how to get out of bespoke element. Earth and steam is mud. That doesn't make any sense. 2 muds is clay. Wait, this is getting there. 2 clays is brick. Okay. 2 bricks is wall. Wood and wall will get palisade. Fence. All right. So this is the deck list of the week. We got a lot of news today. I'm going to start here with the deck list of the week, mind you. This is not against Daria in chat. And this is a list that I'm a bit scared of. I think Traps NBN is like very specifically the sort of deck that can easily win on turn 1 or turn 2. And this one's not that good at it. On the basis that it's not running C-Source, but like if I had $1 every time somebody ran and just like got C-Source turn 1 into end the line and lost, I'd have a couple dollars. It just happens. And I feel like, especially on JNet Casual, there's like so many different things you need to respect Reality Plus that a lot of times playing against Reality Plus is you sussing out whether it is just like tempo Reality Plus, like HB style Reality Plus from Worlds, or is it one that has a Behold and Think Tank? And the Rude Awakening is incredibly rude. Like, heaven forbid you run a central server third click and you hit a Behold, like your game's cooked. Because the tempo swing on this is ridiculous. It costs them 2 credits probably, and then it costs you 2 clicks and 2 credits, and then you're tagged. You know, you hit a snare at the wrong time because you're not expecting it. It's just like, if these sort of cards are more popular in NBN, I don't know. The weird thing too to me that like, okay, hold on. So snare has been around forever. Sometimes you lose because someone puts snare in an HB deck, and that's really funny for a moment. But like, at the end of the day, snare is actually really hard to set up a kill with. It's the exact same cost, and 3 net damage plus 1 tag is interesting. The tag is somewhat relevant. It's an annoying thing that you sometimes have to decide between drawing up and clearing the tag. But the difference is like Behold is like super playable in I would say a fair few NBN decks without having to build into it the way that I feel like you have to build into snare. It's like the single damage of a Behold, if you can't clear the 2 dags, is it better than the damage of a snare? Obviously snare matters because the end of the line, but like this is the sort of card where that it just starts to see somewhat consistent play in Reality Plus. Like inherently interacting with the deck becomes so difficult because you can only run click 1 or click 2, unless of course then we're expecting the new set to have any sort of tag removal on tempo, because we're missing a lot of tag removal right now in the format, and all the tag removal that does exist is kind of nonsense. So we're hoping Sebastian and friends bring some tag removal. So it's really weird. It's like there's been many games where I've just hit a Behold on turn 2 and it's just like sapped entirely all my tempo because you don't expect to make a run that's going to cost you 4 credits and 3 clicks. And it's really hard to recover from that for sure. Now, this is the other card that like draws my ire. We've talked about it before. We're going to see it in action. It's Mwanza City Grid. It only goes on HQ and R&D. And then when the runner breaches that server, if you res this, and there is no way to let the cat back into the box once you let the cat out of the box. Speaking of the cat, Nanako has been there since Tuesday. She hasn't left. They got to see 4 cards from central servers plus the Mwanza. So if they trash this, which at this point, like they probably are in a really bad spot, it's a 15 credit swing. Now, obviously showing the runner agendas or giving them a chance to find agendas is pretty frightening. And in this deck though, it can be, you could lose technically in a single Mwanza access as long as the runner has upfront credits to interact with Bolognas. Because otherwise, the amount of things that they can access that don't win them the game, all the think tanks give them tags and then they get shuffled back. Tomorrow's headline gives you tags, snare gives you tags, Behold gives you tags. You can just lose. And I think barring pinhole threading, there's not a lot of ways to deal with this card. And this sort of card where it goes on, you know, as soon as turn 1 on R&D potentially, and you just kind of have to ignore R&D. And I don't love that for 1 influence for 0 cost. It's just doing way too much at once. I don't know how to make this not do its thing. It's so weird that a card that allows the runner to see extra cards is just kind of strange. It's just kind of very quite powerful. I don't know what to do about it, but this card in P really hard to deal with, and even in other archetypes I think it's kind of interesting. Like I've not seen Mwanza Sports Medal, seems kind of fun. Mwanza Thule seemed kind of messed up and fun. There's probably a bunch of places where you can make this make a bit more sense. I kind of think Behold is fine with that R+, but yeah, R+ is R+. Yeah, R+ being R+ is a really big thing. Like paying 4 credits for snare is a major downside that a lot of PE decks struggle. And there's a lot of board states in which they don't have 4 credits so you can access on centrals. Like that's generally the way that traps was balanced, at least like circa 6-7 years ago, is that they just weren't financially very rich and then they were soft to criminal economy denial. But Behold, you know, obviously you have the 4 credits up front, but paying 2 credits for this effect is wild. And it's the same sort of thing where we're getting like attritional oppos. We're paying 0 credits to give the runner 2 tags is like, unfortunately, way too good. So we'll see how it goes. I'm thinking of making some awful jank trap deck ideas now. Who's got the most something out of high point agendas? Wait, the most big agendas or small agendas? Because like in Sports Medal, you could do it. It's also totally worth noting, and this is an interaction that gets a lot of people by surprise because it is incredibly unintuitive. Say that the runner accesses a snare off the top of the deck. You know, run R&D, single access, it's a snare. So if this fires, and it's the first time the runner took a tag, technically Reality Plus interrupts there. And before the runner decides whether they want to trash this or any other interaction, Reality Plus fires, and you can decide if you want to gain 2 credits or draw 2 cards. Funny enough, if you choose to draw 2 cards, you actually draw the snare the runner's accessing, and you pull it out of their hands, which means it's in your hand and they can't trash it anymore. So it's actually super likely that you can fire snare multiple times. The same snare. It's potentially possible as long as you get it on the top 2 cards of R&D. Same with the Behold, of course, not exactly with a think tank because it's stolen and then it's not in the top of the deck anymore. Notably too, what was I going to say? I forget. Did someone say jank? Yo, Flesh and Blood, how's it going? I saw you got a spoiler coming out. That's pretty exciting, huh? We're not scoring points. We're here to commit 4th degree murder. Yeah, I think we can do it. Oh yeah, this is the thing I want to say. It's like, not only is hitting the behold on like click 2 on turn 2 so bad, is that if heaven forbid you trash it, you get oppoed. And so like there's a chance that as soon as turn 1, turn 2, for literally 2 credits, you run a central server, they leave an R&D open, you're playing, you know, Mercury, whatever, you run R&D, you hit the behold, they P 2 credits, you take 2 tags. You have to clear the 2 tags, and then if you trash the behold, because again, you don't want to hit it again on central servers, then you're also going to get oppoed the following turn. So for 1 click and 2 credits, the corporation can give you 4 tags. And I just feel like that is the sort of thing that happens on turn 1 or turn 2, and I just kind of want to be like, this game is cooked, and I just want to like pack it up. Which is probably not the right thing, considering this deck probably takes a fair bit of work to score out to some extent. And if you ignore entirely central servers and only run the remote server when there's something in the remote server that is advanced, you probably win the game. I think that's how you beat this deck, is you just not interact with central servers and you only run the remote server only when something goes in there that is advanced, or you play the, is it a snare, is it a behold, is it a face down agenda? Because if this deck wants to score 7 points with face down agendas, they have to score nearly all of them. And it's going to be very slow and very expensive for them because there's no money in this deck. Like if you don't Mwanza them, the deck has literally no money besides Rashida, which is a problem. It's like the best way to interact with this deck is not. Oh, and they have predicted planogram. Yeah, so it's strange. Like I think if you know you're playing against this, the best thing to do is just don't play. Just set up and be able to run the remote server a couple times. If you hit a behold or snare in the remote server, you don't have to trash it, which is the best place for you to interact with it so that you don't have to risk oppo research. And I think it's just that simple. It's an open decklist problem. But yeah, at the end of the day, like Amaze Amusements is another fun, it's a cool card that punishes at least, you know, agendas and remote servers. That's pretty good. Hey Jai, how's it going? Caught your RWR video yesterday. Really great prediction analysis. Thank you. I'm happy how it turned out. We're gonna do some more prediction stuff tonight. Actually, we have some really cool prediction stuff to do. Utati put together this sort of like poll, not dissimilar to like Solomon Stone's predictions with points, and we're gonna do it live tonight, which is really quite cool. It's just flashbacks to bonking and end the run turn 1, contesting Rashida and then eating HHN. Yes, but on turn 1, Joe, you're right. You could play economy. And if you bonk the end of run, like you often like played hedge fund or something else, and then the turn 1 hard-hitting news, like if the corporation had to spend 5-6 credits doing it, it's not that good. Admittedly, it was 4 tags, but like it was a different game because you could beat that turn 1 by just having money. It's really hard to beat that. I have one in solid, very stoked. Spoiler season is always great. Yeah, hell yeah. Okay, let's give it a shot. I think this can definitely win games really quickly. And it also can, if our opponent is like pretty, you know, conservative, might be a bit of a struggle. I'm interested again. Maybe we cannot afford, maybe we cannot create the interactions, but like a public trail at the end of the line just kills people out of nowhere, especially also because there's a lot of anarchs that are not running a full hand size and they don't have a lot of money. Like I think public trail at the end of the line is just really good into like Lou and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, obviously depending on whether you can keep them in hand, which is tricky. 3-sided Evna is interesting. It guarantees some sort of value that we care about. Technically, this is the subroutine we least care about, almost by a mile, but it's cool that it does everything we want to do. And I think it's actually really important to have some amount of ice that does some kind of dent damage, because inherently end of the line doesn't do enough on its own, right? Like it's not, it clears the tag, so like 2 end of the lines doesn't win. Yeah, so that's that. Could you also play Gaslight in this deck? Maybe. It's 44 cards, so you have to make some changes somewhere, but we'll see how it goes. It's also really interesting. I haven't seen an NBN deck. I feel like I haven't seen an R plus deck play Funhouse in a really long time. I feel like the only ones that are like B1001 decks. Like Funhouse, you just don't see that much more in like Tempo NBN. See how it goes. Just got Human Baby, easy peasy speedrun. Oh, Ian, how'd you do it? I don't know how to do it. There's probably guides online of like what's the fastest route to human. Startup NBN is kind of in a similar place without Drago, where the runner can kind of just not run and wait. Yeah, I believe it. And but this is Bologna, and Bologna's a bit interesting, right? But you have to see it coming. This deck has no way to expedite a Bologna, so you can sit back. Hey, Tron, spoiler stream? Nah, not really. Starts tomorrow, so we're in just a couple hours. I think there'll be spoilers up literally in like 12 hours. I don't remember. How am I supposed to work on solving the GLC, HoloNet, ARG, and watch the grid at the same time? Is there an ARG already up? Oh man, the ARGs are so fun. Man, I think some of my favorite Netrunner spoilers have been like the ARG stuff. Like the one where you had to make your own art was fantastic. Was that the same one as the Starlit Night one? That one was amazing. The Starlit Night one's, I think, one of my favorite in a long time. Not really sure, sounds like a no. No, there's nothing we can do today. We're gonna be talking about spoilers, but no, we have no spoilers. There's no spoilers. Swing 15, we building a deck later tonight. Thanos, we might. It's depending on time because we have some other stuff planned. How's it going, by the way? Swing 15 is Mwanza. So we're already playing a Swing 15 deck. Like if a Mwanza fires, it's a 15 credit swing if they trash it, which is absurd. But otherwise, I think if like there's two decks I want to play. Either more Mwanza, like HB Mwanza, I think it's fun. Like Thule Mwanza, we could try that out. And or we could try out, somebody posted a really weird looking Mercury deck from a small GNK. They brought like Mercury and Iswak. Rekko did. I'm not sure who Rekko is. But it looks like just kind of goofy, but kind of control Mercury. And it doesn't do exactly the sort of like twinning kind of spam thing that I'm worried about. So I'm gonna give that a shot too. To be included is red. What date is your spoiler? We're scheduled for Wednesday. Usually I put my videos up at like 11:15. I think NSG is going to be putting out, like they usually put out a spoiler calendar, which I'm assuming is going to be up tomorrow. So you'll see like what articles and what people, channels, podcasts, stuff like that, when they're going to get stuff up. A lot of that stuff doesn't go on the docket though. Stuff like they're more socials based, I guess. I guess you can be Mwanza with Stargate. Yeah. You can be Mwanza with Stargate. You can meet Mwanza with Deep Dive. There's like weird interactions that beat Mwanza. Pinhole beats Mwanza, of course. But like most generalist runners don't have it. Like Stargate is, I played Stargate recently and had such a good time with it. But like there's a lot of cards that don't really work. Hey Bill, how's it going? It's going well. Make your own RD was YDL. That makes sense. Yes, that was fun. I think I still have my art somewhere. I'm saying it's already the 8th in Europe. Yeah, I wonder what the consideration is for NSG. When is considered the 8th? But like, it usually happens in the morning here. Like I wake up. Oh, Fire RL plays a lot of R+. I think Fire RL is going to know what to do here. We're going to play around Hoshiko. We're playing 45 cards. Not sure what that means. But here we can Mwanza R&D. Mind you, at some point, Mwanza becomes a liability. I think we're just going to Mess Chesto HQ. The other option is Mwanza R&D, and then we can do Mess Chesto Rashida, and then hope that we don't get pinholed. I'm going to keep this hand. I'm really hoping the connection archetype will roll out. I'm pretty sure. So my guess is, because I think NSG, okay, that's not great. NSG often spoils the identities first. I think NSG is more likely to lead with a runner than a corporation. So my guess is that tomorrow we'll see Sebastião. I think they've always opened with runners. Because, oh, not true. Because there's usually narrative about corporations too, but there's way more narrative pieces about runners, I feel like. Hey. It's already afternoon, the 8th in Australia. Okay, tune in on the 9th, huh? Sorry about that. So Rashid into Mwanza is really interesting. We could Mess Chesto HQ. If we res this, it's like not a good face check for them, but it's also very expensive for us. So like, this is not a great opening. They're probably just going to run HQ here for a single just to get the Hoshiko flip. So there's a chance that Fire steals an early Bologna, which means the Mwanza is actually really quite bad. We could lose in a single Mwanza if this Bologna gets taken. What if all IDs get smiled tomorrow? I don't think so. I'm pretty sure it's been said, oh, super cool, is that we're going to see one ID a day, I think. So that's 3 days, and then the community takes over on Monday, I think. Oh, okay. The red team cost them. Really cool to see red team, especially with open centrals. Now, if you want to run back, you can't red team back. But it looks like server one's going to be safe. That's really wild. Now, with Hoshiko, if you run archives with red team, it's actually really quite good. Oh, Earthrise, no money here. Like, this is what I'm talking about. Like, if we had C-Source end the line, the game is just over. Like, so many people don't play around C-Source end the line because it's ridiculous. So we can't Oppo. So we need Ice on HQ. The Oracle Think Tank in there is safe. They're probably going to red team in. He's probably going to red team back. So we probably want to Spin Doctor for Ice. Rashid in their mode server. So if we res Spin Doctor, we're going to have 6. So we go to 7, 8. We want to throw out the Oracle, I think. Probably not. Because I don't want to give him a good reason to run archives. I guess with Rashid, he already has one. Let's get an Ice here. That's good enough. So in theory, we can throw out 2 Oracles if we want to work around that. I think that could be fine. Ideally, if we give him 2 Oracles in the same turn, we can shipment for something, but like we have to set up a kill combo. And with Earthrise, it might be hard to do a kill. Can just jam. Yeah, the only thing that we jam here is a Bologna, and I don't often want to jam a Bologna after Rashida. Especially, well, when he knows the Bologna's in hand, maybe. But we have to discard too many cards. So ideally, we jam Yeah, we probably should have jammed here instead of the Rashida, because then we can't do Bologna next turn. Yeah, this is probably not right. Yeah, this is definitely not right. I think we should have got the Bologna on the table, so next turn we can do advance. Okay, we'll see. Does every corp run Spin Doctor? Scrub, how's it going? Most, yes. There's very weird situations in which you wouldn't. Very few situations in which you would not. Very specific Earth Station sometimes struggles to do it. Some HP decks don't run a full playset. Stuff like that. Yeah, you need a really good reason not to. It's very, very good. It does a lot for you. It's also like a very interesting, exciting card, so it's not the sort of card that you tire of ubiquity. Big Deal Outfit? Big Deal Outfit definitely should be running Spin Doctor, though. Okay, end of line, planogram. So we want to get blown on the table. So we'll get blown on the table. Why would they not? Big Deal Outfit. Like, that deck is the epitome of, like, drawing your cards in bad order and losing because of it. Still, pretty cool, though. VSA and R&D is, like, good enough, but there's a chance the Mwanza will just keep him out. So we can just put this on our... Stacking 2 code gates is, like, not great. But this is probably reg breakers. I think last time we played around Fire Owl is reg breakers. So I think we throw out the Oracle Think Tank here, so we just predicted for 3 credits. I wish Red Team felt better, NGL. I think it's going to look better. I think it doesn't feel as bad as you think it does. Like, I thought this was a card we'd see more in Sunset, I'll be honest. Because Corpse is slower. But, like, this run here, in theory, we can give him 2 Oracle Think Tanks. Do you think we do? Technically, giving 2 is the worst for your RD+. I think we put them back in the deck because we have Mwanza. They're really good at Mwanza. The kitty rises from her slumber. Oh, yeah. Oh, big stretch. So she had a great time at the doctors, at the veterinarian. Her health is good. They extracted the urine from her successfully. We're just gonna do that. And she is in great health, besides the fact that she is 3 pounds overweight for what a cat like her should be. So she has to diet now, which is like really rough. My only gripe is click specific. It was just a mark and passive effect for running. It'd probably see more play. If it was not a click to run, it would be busted. It'd be very, very, very absurdly good. I think the fact that it is like that is actually kind of cool, but there's always so much tension. Like, criminals have so many good run events, right? Like, it's even with Debbie, we saw it's like, oh, we have all the good run events, but what are we gonna do with it? Moshing? Steel skin, so echelon, yeah. So this is just reg stuff. So probably 2 echelon, 2 unity sometimes. Sometimes it's just a buzzsaw leech. Boomerang. We haven't seen like diversion, or sorry, diesel, but red team's taking up some influence there. Temujin was a click ability for the money. How broken would it still be? It would still be pretty broken. Echelon cleaver, nice. Hosh flip. So we scored the Bologna. We have the Bologna. They can bounce the HQI, so we have to discard 2 cards. I don't actually really like that. This is the first time I've ever seen the cat in like 4 years. Followage? The cat tree is like relatively recent. I think we just score this, bounce that, throw out an Appa. We have to throw something else though. Yeah, slow cook seems fine, but if you run R&D with the Mwanza, like the Bologna gets cooked. Like I think we just score it and say 1 rough turn on HQ. The problem is we're gonna discard 2 cards here, but like we cannot play around Hermes intelligently with Mwanza. Mind you, Hoshiko Hermes, you don't see that much. I was expecting more Ama here, but we're gonna discard 2 cards. Not much we can do about it. Would it really be that busted? I think it would be relatively quite good. It wouldn't be the power level it was at. Even if it had the clause like red team that you can only run each server once, but I guess you mark a certain server. Yeah, here we're going to discard 2 cards, which I don't like. What if they bounce Mwanza? Then it's fine. You're running R&D for a single. So I'm going to get rid of 2 Appas is important. Losing the Spin Doctor here would be the worst. I actually think the end of the line is worse tag punishment in this matchup than the shipment. I think the shipment's more realistic as tag punishment. Because his economy is really good. Oh, if red team didn't take a click, it would be really, really, really good. Ah, that's the worst case. At least Oppo's online now, but we threw out the second Oppo. This is going to be the matchup where like Fire Owl did exactly what Fire Owl should have done. Didn't pressure centrals in a way that didn't make sense. Set up the money, has the breaker, has the economy. And now we have to beat him with 2 ice. And the best we have here is an Amaze Amusement. And even at the end of the day, like I'm not sure if we can res Mwanza into Hermes. Hippo, okay. So if we oppo here, we pay 5 and Fire Isle just loses his whole turn. It's not that good. Like, we're actually in quite a bad spot. This is like the sort of value grind I think this deck is going to struggle against. We could advance it once, but it's a bit rough here. So Echelon now beats Starlight Knight for 2 credits. We can't even res this. Like, Colin's a good player. I take it Fire Isle is Colin, huh? Fancy Hippo? Yeah, this is Catch and Hippo. Did other alt arts get added? I know there's some discussion to be like, we're trying to get other alt arts onto Jinteki. I don't know what the conversation led to. But Cat has a bunch of their art up here. For what it's worth, I try not to use alt arts. Classically, when I play, there's a whole bunch of cards that I won't use the versions of cards here. Like, I'll sooner use this daily cast than the daily cast from System update, just because I like it. But I choose not to do it when streaming online. All right, we're on game point at least. I know we can't do anything with it. We're just gonna do that. You can bounce, but like now everything we jam in their mode server, which at least that's good with beholds and snares and stuff, is that technically Fire has to check it. Turns out Reg Rich Anarch is a good deck. Yeah, I think people got bored of playing it. Also, the fact that we're not exactly in a competitive season, but like the sort of, again, Sokka-esque Reg Anarch is really quite good. It's just no nonsense. You can turn off opponent alters for stream accessibility as well. Oh, yeah, interesting. If you think it's hard to follow, at least the names now, like this is a really big deal with cyber feeders. You can see the names of the cards. If that wasn't there, I'd be a bit more inclined to maybe turn off alt arts, but I like them. I do like them. I just won't do a video where I'm playing with the cards and you're like, I don't recognize these. Reg Rich Runners feel so boring. They can be interesting. Hermes is at least an interesting card. But I hear you. I'm really curious about the new weapons. They said there was going to be some amount of weapons in the last set. Have we seen all the weapons they announced? Because they said there'd be like X amount of weapons. And we saw a bunch of weapons in the last set. We saw Banner and Laser Pointer. And maybe one more. I'm not sure. Can't wait to see this new card pool. Yeah, me too. From what I've seen already, there's some really cool stuff in there. Also, it's the Liberation Cycle, which has been pretty great in general. So now, ideally, everything we put in a remote server, now Fire has to remember to, you know, clear the tag. Otherwise, the twinning probably goes down here. To choose between Crim or Shape. You had to choose. You got a choice. Ooh, look at this person. Clear the tag. Cleaver and Hippo down. Okay, so no Decoder Breaker, which would be the best case. So we install Advanced Bologna here. And just say, like, you have it or you don't have it. Now you can run R&D. You can see a bunch of cards with Mwanza, and there's a chance you hit double snare and just lose. Be cool to see a Hitman, Weapon, Specialist, Criminal ID down the road. Yeah. I know I said this in my video that, like, criminal's not feeling criminal. It's kind of been a thing. You just don't really feel that much. I don't think the last set really helped. Somebody wrote a comment that is like, yeah, I totally agree with you. The examples of like 419 and the sort of confidence scamming, power tap, shutdown, those are the sort of cards I think everyone likes. But again, those cards are like 6 to 10 years old. But that's the sort of thing I think people want more than just like, I don't know, insert criminal card here. Capybara doesn't feel like a criminal card. Don't you res Mwanza? Hermes is going to screw you up. We don't have to res yet. Well, res if Fire runs. Oh, you're right. If Fire bounced Mwanza. Yeah, but if he bounces Mwanza and just goes R&D for single, I don't think we care. Like, there's a chance that not resing Mwanza is correct on this turn. Because if he can't deal with the... you think okay, all right. All right, let's go. Because I don't honestly know if he ran R&D here. I don't know if this is correct, but this seems fun. This is going to be the biggest Mwanza ever. So that is probably going to be the twinning counter. So it's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cards. We'll get like 18. Before, for sure not. No, this is probably not right. The blown's going to get bounced, but there's a chance that Fire dies to double snare. And if not, the issue is we have end of line. So like snare into end of line here could be tricky. Snare into end of line into what's it called could be tricky. Into Behold. Oracle Think Tank is a start. Like, we just need this to be really quite bad. We're gonna get a lot of money here. That drawing cards. So how many cards has he seen? Use the tuning too. Hold on. Okay, so Oracle Think Tank. I don't think we draw here because the thing that we need to draw into is like it's our shipment we threw out. That was a mistake. Money seems useless. I'm gonna draw. Oh, we got the spin doctor saved. Okay, so we broke lock there. Yeah, these are all fresh cards. Yeah, because the first one was trashed. Oh, Nana popped down. Okay, behold. We're gonna get so much money. Oh, behold. But the problem is like, unless we have double end the line. No! Oh no. We should have got 2 credits maybe. Oh, that's so bad. The second behold probably wasn't worth firing. Because I don't know if we would have won, but that definitely would help. I was just talking about we're gonna have so much money. I couldn't realize that we couldn't even fire that many. Okay, Beal, that's bad. Yeah, 1 credit short. That might actually really mattered. That might have really mattered. But Fire's probably going to close the game out here. Like, run HQ, because you know there's a blown in there, depending on his money and how the rest of this goes. Mind you, we can always shuffle these back, which is kind of bad, because then we shuffled the deck, and then you shuffle Mwanza. We do have a second Mwanza, though, so we can install on top of this Mwanza, trashing the Mwanza. How our money was just solved. I wasn't even considering it. I was just like, yeah, we're good. Okay, check this out. We're at 3 credits. Do you trash the Mwanza? It's actually an interesting choice here, because if we shuffle the Oracle back, say Mwanza again. Find the blown a 1 and 9. It's a chance. Gain 18 credits. 18 credits. What did it cost us? 3 points? Fair. Totally fair. We can oppo. End of the line doesn't do it. So this is kind of rough. What if there's another end of line on top deck? There's a possibility. But it's 1 in 17. Like, I wouldn't bet on it. We also have Sarevna here, which is a bit interesting because we're 5 tags in. You break it once, though, with Hippo Echelon, and it's gone. But it will have... Oh, not Sarevna. Sorry. Starlit Knight has 7 subroutines, so it's something. Hey, Cat, how's it going? How you doing? Not if we overinstall the Mwanza, don't res it. Yeah, we'd have to overinstall the Mwanza. We able to shut it down. We could also overinstall with an Amaze, but we have the Mwanza in hand. So you can always shut that thing down. So it's going to be kind of tricky how to score out of here. Obviously, if we kept, and I think it was right. We went for the flashy play, but like when we were saying it, I was very more likely the shipment was a better keep the end of the line because Fire is going to respect hand size. Not that we didn't biff a damn snare by 1 credit. But yeah, having the shipment here actually is a winning line because we could do Bologna shipment. And if Fire knows the list, that's a thing that, yeah, he has to play around. So it's a 1 in, it's basically 2. Dealing with the Spin Doctor is really good too here. End of line, okay. So yeah, he knows not to play a card here. Paladin's also real swole. So yeah, he needs to hit the Bologna, which he expects is in hand. And that's kind of it. That's kind of what it comes down to. If we had the snare here, he's in a really bad spot because he's on 1 card. So we could do draw. That's not enough. Okay. Is this actually seeing new cards? Does this see new cards? It's so hard to... Okay, so top 3 are safe. Rashid is trashed. All right, we're in 31 credits. Seems cool. So... Firesoft 4 trashed 1. Mentor plus Splint lets you draw 3 to find the end of line and could get lucky. Yes. But I'd argue as soon as we commit to Spin Doctor... I guess we have to commit to Spin Doctor anyways, right? Because we have to... And maybe that run means that Fire knows that there's a end of line on top. Yeah, 31 credits. Maybe it's an excited card, but like, I don't know. Probably don't interact with that. At least with Hermes, it's like a problem. Okay. Spin Doctor, no! Come on! So we have no way to win the game besides end of the line right now. Because we don't have a Spin Doctor. So 2 are in the bin, we have no recursion, and we threw out the 1 copy shipment for Laserburst. So we actually are going to lose the game, very likely. Unless we can just like perfectly draw into the end of the line. And then Fire actually has time to clear the tags. Oh, trashed Hippo. For 331 and Trap Jank, I now got Billis. Mwanza's really scary. We're in a bad spot here. Like, this is not going to... I don't know what to do here. We probably have to trash the Mwanza. We shuffle away an Oracle, I think. That clears the tag for Fire. We probably want to crush the Twinning. Yeah, right? That was the spin I needed. You have an oppo. I don't think they can clear tags. Yeah, I guess we do oppo, but I just feel like we have more pressing issues. Like maybe we just install Starlit Night on R&D. We don't shuffle yet because I think the top are known, right? So we install Starlit Night. We probably trash twinning. And then we overinstall the Mwanza. I think that's correct because we can't let the Mwanza stay. What kind of monster would play Mwanza? Yeah, let's try this. Starlit Boppo probably means you can hold the line. Yeah, I think so. But maybe not. I think Fire can make one run. I don't want to deal with the twinning. I think Paladin's also like kind of rough. In terms of Trickster too, actually Trickster is good money as well. Because Trickster's gonna be 3 credits to break this. Yeah, I just had cards to put. This is gonna be a hard game to end. So the question is, do we oppo last click and do we either overinstall the Mwanza? I think we can hold the Mwanza for one turn. What if you jam the Baloney? I'm pretty sure that could have been correct, honestly. I think this is the sort of deck that could be on Hippo, but with the open Mwanza, Fire sees 2 new cards, so jamming the Baloney is like not the best line, I don't think. It's risky. I think we're more likely to try and win off 2 end lines, because if Fire chooses to clear the tags, we can probably jam the Baloney then. Like, we'll have a window. I don't think we need to clear the twinning. I don't think we need to trash this. So if anything, I think we ruin the Paladin. Like, what are we on for economy? 2 daily casts, 1 red team. I don't know if there's going to be 2 red teams. So Paladin is going to be a 5 credit card. Ugh. Baloney HQ going at snipe? There's a chance. Maybe that's why we should trash the twinning, actually. Draw 2 cards. This is where you'd first click oppo if you could. All right, you're tagged. We'll keep... Boy, this is bad. This is not good. And Serevna is relatively taxing as much as you have to break 2 subroutines. I was hoping you wouldn't do that. Love to see it. So we probably don't need that oppo. Hey, Dufresne. I'm new and started playing this deck as it's simple but really satisfying to play it, and it's really getting me hooked in the game. Thanks for your Nationals coverage. Oh, cheers. Glad you liked it. Welcome to the game. 20 needs to go? Maybe. Probably. I think that's our next step. I think 20 was probably more important to trash on this turn because I'm assuming Fire's going to go and send it Bologna. Must be Starlit R&D. It could be. Really, who knows? So I don't know. Yeah, welcome to the game. This deck is probably really exciting because there's a bunch of trap-based stuff. I think unfortunately, if you just like don't interact with it, it's probably one of the best things you can do. But if you're interacting, you can get some exciting board states. Is this a freshly cooked deck? No, Scrub. This is Nottingham decklist of the week. You can find it on the front page in IronDB. Maybe what infinite money now is you just need to survive the HQ accesses. Yes. The thing is, like, we have no ice besides Starlit Night that's going to make HQ relatively taxing. So here you can just run, boost the Echelon, heck, boost the Cleaver, and then try and snipe the Bologna. But if Fire does that, their economy's not going to be very good. That's not really something we can capitalize on. And we're probably going to next turn trash the Oracle, trash the Twinning. Twinning is just Mwanza Stones later, right? Yeah, I know. We're going to lose on HQ. That's the problem. That's the bigger issue. It's like Fire knows where there's probably a Bologna or a big old 2-1. A 3-1. We're making it look like a big old Bologna. Kato, how's it going? It's going well. How you doing? Welcome to the stream. You excited for scoops, huh? We have nothing today. We're going to be doing other stuff today. But we have actually generated a board state. So Starlit Night, mind you, not threat text. It is threat text. Excuse me. It is threat text. Imagine shuffling back an Oracle Think Tank. Say we didn't have points and going from 3 to 2 and then same turn oppo researching. Someone must have done it by now in the history of the game. Be like, I'm going to shuffle back an Oracle Think Tank that you just stole. Oppo. And be like, it's threat 2. What are you doing? I think the most I struggle is against people not interacting or sabotage. Getting a Mwanza trigger or a few tags and the deck takes off really fun. Yeah. Sabotage is really tricky. There's a bunch of agendas in this deck that you don't mind sabotaging. Things like Oracle Think Tank, right? Like you want to sabotage those. Mind you, Behold and Snare don't fire in the remote server. But against sabotage, you just protect HQ really, and then you want to push out a remote server. You just don't get Chistushkad. Sarievna, it was a single axis. Fire didn't use the twinning. Locks just dropping by to wish a lovely stream before crashing in bed. Locks, it's been how many months since Worlds? Locks still kicks ass. Thanks for dropping the Locks. Enjoy your sleep, huh? Yeah, hiding that blown in archives. Ooh, I really like that. That's actually a reasonable play, is to hide it behind a Starlit Night here in archives and have Fire waste his time. Not the line I took, but it's a possibility, that's for sure. This is the decklist of the week, Kato. Yeah, 100%. Not again. You were also playing, what's it called? And I want to try more of that Valenchao NBN. Valenchao NBN seems cool. I know Bob is playing a bit of it. This is the deck that kept me out of the top 2 at CO. Got double A in the line. Yeah, that'll happen. That's what we're hoping for here. Sarievna, still a single access fire, not charging the twinning here. Mind you, with Trickster Taka, you can just boost a breaker. Oh, yes. This is sick. Sarievna, let the runner gain 2. No, I don't care. At the end of the day, these subroutines, not all of them matter. Like the tag subroutine doesn't matter. So draw 2 actually can matter. It can reset R&D here, but Fire's going for it. You're going to find out that he's going to find out there's no blown in here, and then probably use twinning on HQ. So we have to survive one good run here. I was on Bad Pub NBN and SOS. Yeah, that's what I saw. I was really wanting to see video viewers on the deck. Really hyped to see the meta being on a great state and people hyped for the next set. So Dufresne, I'm not a Mwanza person. I don't like Mwanza inherently. I just don't think it's a cool card. So not a deck that I would make a video on so much. But this is why we do the decklist of the week. This is the sort of thing. Draw 2, yeah. Predictive is good too. That's another way to get to our end of line. But apparently now the top of R&D is totally fresh. Fire can go in. Starlit Knight though will have a couple subroutines. But there's a chance that Fire can get in here. The thing is, like, if Fire breaks this, it doesn't have Bologna money. But we know where all the Bolognas are. No, there's one unknown Bologna. So now Fire has to dump the twinning. So either an R&D to see an absurd amount of cards, and we could lose right there, or Fire can go HQ and C2. But this is the last turn for the twinning. And we're trying to draw into the last end of the line before we flood up. We lost because we threw out and we shouldn't have. We knew we shouldn't have. We called it when we saw it. Going R&D. All right. So we're just going to res this. So Starlit Knight now has Threat Vortex. So it has 11 subroutines. The last 2 don't really matter. But Mwanza now broke lock. Starlit on the remote, it's a way to win the game. It's really tricky though, because we have to beat Mwanza Hermes here. Do we draw 2 or we gain 2? I think we draw 2. We were trying to win. Oh, we just drew a snare. So there's no more snares in the deck. So there's a chance we lose here. It's not very likely because you have to hit basically Oracle Think Tank, Oracle Think Tank. We can't lose because he doesn't have Bologna money. There's no way to lose here. It's a bummer we drew the snare. If we didn't draw the snare, he would have died at the end of the line. Yeah, he can't win here. Is it the first 2 that don't matter, not the last 2? Sorry, Lucille? Actually, like, you're forced to Hermes. We shouldn't do this. No, mix Starlit Knight better, whatever. We're gonna get as much money in Mwanza. There's no more snares. So he might have hit the Bologna. So now all we have to do is like Starlit Knight on HQ and something in front of it. Hey, Eric, want to say your video about prediction on RWR is lit, dude. Loved it. Yo, appreciate it. Thank you. That's very kind. What are you most excited about for the set? I guess you do playtesting, so you have a bit of information. You probably still playtest, right? Want to just jam Bologna behind the Starlit? Because there's a big chance that he runs HQ, or sorry, R&D, and then Mwanza's and Hermes and undoes everything. Like now our best case scenario is just to win off end of the line. So we could predictive. I don't think we have to. I think we can predictive next turn. So I'm just going to set up the fortress, right? So this costs too much to break. This costs too much to break. So we're just going to do that. We're going to, the Bologna is worth protecting, but I don't know how he's going to get money here. We're going to trash the twinning, I guess. And then we're just going to ice up HQ, and that's it. And we're going to wait. And then next turn, we're going to do predictive into end the line, and then that'll kill. It's not proactive, but it is active. We're going to keep the snare. So we'll throw out the ice that doesn't matter. We're going to keep the Mwanza so we can turn this off if we need to. How's Fire getting through Starlit Knight to get into R&D? I don't know. I don't know. We don't have to ice it up, but we're not going to do much else with the turn anyways. We could have drawn once. It's just not a rush. With like 16 subs, Hush. I think Hush is the likely way that it could happen in this Anarch deck. It's possible. Hush. On encounter? No. Yeah, technically like Airblades, but I don't expect it. But that's what we're playing around. You did see it. All right, well, let's go get an end of line. End of line's in the bottom 4 cards. Oh no. I'm excited to revisit some previously released IDs. Oh, with the new set. I think that's the thing that I've been more and more excited about the more I'm like thinking about Sebastio. If Sebastio can be an identity that lets you, I'm just putting these back in the deck. I don't care. This is bad because it puts us off of our kill combo. But if Sebastio allows you to play tag me and non-tag me all in the same deck, like if there's decks on both sides of the aisle, I am so stoked. There's 2 skills in the hand. I'm pretty sure you need the shipment. We can't get the shipment. It's gone. We have no spin doctors. You're right. Fire might hold into hand. And if that's the case, we lose. I think there's a chance you're right that he's going to hold 2 steel skins. I feel really bad for not thinking about that. And we need to score on a remote server. Unfortunately, we threw out all our ace. We have probably no way to score out if Fire has steel skins. We should check the heap. Fire has played 2 steel skins. So the best we get is 20% chance. Yeah, me too. Hey, me too. So yeah, it's hard. It's hard. It's going to be hard to close this out. Hey, Dave. We can win. It's going to be tricky. It's going to be tricky. The steel skin needs to be in the bottom 17. You're 100% to win? 5, 4. Yes, 100% to win. Unless there's a labor rates. Yeah. Yeah, I did the math. Yeah. 5 minus 4 plus 2 minus 4 is negative. Yeah, we're good. Oh, max hand size is 4. Oh, yeah, it doesn't even matter. With 5 hand size, we're fine. But you're right. We're always going to hit the steel skin. But he dies to that. Is this Sicko deck good or does it fold to knowledge of how it works? I think it folds to knowledge. There's just not enough things that are not advanceable that you never have to run centrals. And you just run the remote server anytime they advance something. Because it's really, really hard for the deck to win off of non-Bologna agendas. So the best thing you should do is back in nothing. Now, Fire doesn't have time to clear the tags. Great, I don't have to think about this deck completely. I think it can be good, and I think it's going to blow out people in Swiss. Like, understanding if you're playing a Reality Plus deck like this, but yeah, I think you just have to make some small changes. Like, you have to put in checklists, or you have to put seamlesses. Like, you have to put a reason to run, like, a way to score out unadvanced cards. Can you try to bait with the snare? There's technically no reason for Fire to run an unadvanced card, right? Like, maybe we're putting the Beal on the table, but that would actually be a really bad play. Because if it's a Beal on the table and he runs it, he bounces Starlit Knight to hand with Hermes, runs HQ and wins. So putting an agenda on the table is a really, really rough play. Because any agenda steal, you know, Hermes is that. This is actually really bad because of this, right? Like, his play is run archives, bounce HQ, run HQ, win. Something like that. So we're just going to draw for the end of the line. It's bad. Bold of you to assume I do not have Mwanza P decks ready to go. Yeah, I know. This is quite not good. This is the bad thing. We have to draw once more and hope. Okay. Okay, at least now. This sucks. This is really quite bad. We actually can lose this relatively easily. Where's the end of the line in the bottom 3? But like, it's on us that we shuffled these 2 back. Maybe we shouldn't have. Maybe we should have been like, it's impossible for him to get enough accesses. But like, okay, well, now there's an agenda in archives. I think the one change I'm making is check the advanced trap to push, just run the advanced card plays. Yeah, like you can play checkist, right? You can do stuff like that. If you have some way to punish advanced cards, because you should run every advanced card in this deck, and you should run very few cards that are not advanced in remote servers. And again, this is a really big thing, is that what's it called? Behold and Snare in the remote server are so much worse because you don't have to trash them, which means you're not turning on Oppo. So the best place to hit a snare in this deck is the remote server, as long as you're prepared. 100% you didn't discard an end of line Lucille. My heart jumped. I checked. I was like, wait, did I? Yeah. So that can be rough, but like, we guaranteed win this turn if we don't lose. Because we can just do mandatory draw. Oh no, actually we have a 1 in 3 chance of losing. Do you think NSG should ban Bologna? Do I think? Maybe. It depends what their goals are. Like, I think Bologna is a messed up card. It's like way better than any other 5/3. It's a sort of card I'd rather have eroded text to it than banned. But I'd much rather see them like print a card that's similar to Bologna, but that's not exactly Bologna. And then when that happens, ban Bologna. Because I do think if you ban Bologna, NBN as a faction gets like really kind of goofed up. Maybe Cerebral over Snare, because Core is always nice. Core is not always nice. I think you'd rather have tags than Core. And Core is really expensive on both influence and it costs like 3 credits. No intentional functional rot is allowed, only unintentional functional rot is... Yeah, no, I know. We're on the same page there. Fire has a chance of winning this turn. We could lose. Is Cerebral the one that does 1 corporate advancement? Yeah, exactly. Pay 3 credits. This is actually good. Because now we're less likely to win on HQ. Oh, we did that wrong. If Colin bounces HQ Ice, here's trouble. Yes, he has to bounce the wrong one. But luckily we have 2 more cards there. So there's a big chance that we lose here. Because below he needs to hit the Beal basically for us to lose. Oh, not actually true. Below into Oracle, we lose as well. We assume there's going to be another NBN 5-3 in RWR. I don't think there's assumptions for that. Oh, I think NSG did say that every faction's getting a 5-3. They said sort of. So maybe? Sure, the tag of snare is nice, but NBN has so many ways to give tags. Oh, he bounced the wrong one. He bounced the ping. He needed to bounce the Starlit Knight. Oh, that's good. He needs to hit the Bologna. Yes, you're right. It's more likely he has to hit the Bologna. But if he hits the Bologna, he has to hit. Yeah, it's a better. Really curious to know what sort of means. Well, they said like everyone's getting a 5-3, sort of, in brackets. Like there was something to it. So I'm assuming there's going to be some agenda that's like saying we're getting a 5 advancement agenda and then you get blood in the water, you know? Something like that. Yeah, I think we have him now. He just bounced the wrong guys. I assume you bounce the one that we install first, not the one we install after. Because the one we install after is just panic install. Spoilers tomorrow? Yeah, spoilers tomorrow. Start tomorrow, Whiteblade. We basically don't want someone to walk up to a tournament and learn that Bologna is only 3 credits now. Oh, 100%. Like, I agree. Functional erratas are really, really, really rough. So I'd rather have it that, like, there's a card that's similar to Bologna that comes out in a pack, and then Bologna is just banned. I'm not dunking on functional erratas, but it is funny that there are more unfunctional erratas. Hey, no worries. Hey, fam. All right, we got the start of the night. Yeah, all right, so this thing has 14 end-to-run subroutines, so we win the game. GG. I've never got a concession, but that is the right play. Thanks for the game. I could not draw that last end of line. That was only that rough. Because we obviously said this earlier, we shouldn't throw out the end of the line. It's more likely for this not to be a win condition because Fire is going to respect it, and that's really difficult. Unless we had snare credits, that might have been more interesting. But yeah, we should have kept the shipment. Hey, cheers. Catch your end. Yeah, that was as clumsy as it was because we lost the last Spin Doctor. We did throw out a Spin Doctor, I think. I don't know. Thousand Fury says, doesn't matter if you win by an inch or a mile, winning is winning. I've never seen one of those films. But I do know the Pedal to the Metal and You're Off song, because I'm pretty sure it's from Hamilton, Ontario. And Never Getting Lost. Which way will I go when roads cross? Pedal to the Metal. One thing's for sure, got your foot on the floor. You know the one? It doesn't matter what's outside, it matters what's under the hood. That's what we all learned from Fast and Furious. 3-3 bet's only worth 2 points in the corpse area. That's a weird design. I was like, why? I'm like, okay, maybe decks, but that's just like deck thinning the corp. You don't like that. Hey. I think Hush seemed kind of marginal. Wait, I think when you jam the Starlight on HQ, you could probably just put it in the remote and put the Blown in there 2 turns later, you win. I think there's a chance, Eric. But if he can get enough money, make one good run R&D, Mwanza will probably cost us the game or undo the ice bounce and then run Blown on the remote server. I think the fact that we drew end the line so terribly was a bit results oriented, and we were more likely to win off of end the line 2 to 3 turns sooner than we did. Yeah, it feels like it's been a minute. Best of luck. Have fun. So we see Lou. So Lou's going to run central servers. Lou hitting a Beholder snare is pretty reasonable. Merge is only worth 2 points for deck building purposes, though. Yeah, that's true. Wait, that's just merger. I do think you're right that Hush was pretty marginal. But maybe it's a one of Hush makes sense in some of those value-based decks. Like, I couldn't tell exactly what Fire was doing besides good stuff. So Hush is a good stuff card. I haven't really seen it right in a deck in a while. Okay, so Lou's gonna start getting runs and trashing stuff. Ping is not that good. Our hand is not that good. Bologna is gonna get imped sooner than later. I think we want to open with a hand that's just snares, just garbage. Just get yeah, that's what we want. Behold, Oppo. Oh, we're gonna lose the shipment. It's gonna be just trash. Just give me a hand of trash. VSA is actually really quite good into Lou because forcing down the buzzsaw is like a pretty hard thing to do. Messing on the remote server is fine too. So I think we're going to put this on HQ, put this on R&D. We're just going to take a credit. We could leave centrals open. Hush is the card to keep finding good uses for in games, but no space in the core of 45. Yeah, Hush is really good. And I have no doubt it's only going to get better. Like NSG just keeps doing Hush stuff. Yo, Fire, good game. Check archives if I know Fire L, he's holding 2 Steelskin. Which Ranji Dodge? Check archives. I didn't realize that you were not holding steel skins, which like I should have clued into a year ago. Good game, by the way. That was fun. It was ugly, but fun. Okay. So we want to jam like a Rashida or an agenda here. If we can get out above the law, I don't know if D is going to contest in the next turn or so. Like there's going to be some respect here. So we're just going to set up a remote server. We need enough money to res most of this ice, as much as one of these is free a turn. Simply use 46. You could. You try not to. MU is also kind of tight, especially if you're running like echelon. Like you're generally filled 3 breakers, obviously. All right, 46 from SF. Have you heard of 47? All right, D's money's coming together. We're only drawing ice. I don't think I remote a ping. Okay, or sorry, I don't behold a remote. I don't remote a behold. That's, this is not great. I think we can do ping on the outside. We'll do predictive. We actually might need predictive for card job, but we're also short on economy. Mind you, this deck has no money besides Rashida and predictive planogram, and then obviously tags do stuff. So Mwanza is like the econ card. And Mwanza to lose, like, gonna be fun. Just go to 47 and then say the next thing you know, the deck is 55 cards thick, and then you think you stop at 55. All right, pinholes down. Strike fund. We also didn't draw an Amaze Amusements, which I'd like an Amaze Amusements, but Amaze Amusements on steel, not on access, right? So you can trash it. Knob Curry's down already, so we have a reason to ice up archives. A Saryevna there might be fine enough. Not a great start for us. And again, this is the sort of thing where if you don't face check HQ and like lose to VSA Behold on turn 1, I think this deck is going to have maybe a harder time. And if we're not advancing cards, I don't think D has to do anything. But again, that's an open deck list problem. The turn you oppoed me to 9, I was considering career fair wheels, clear all 5 tags. I was worried you're going to clear the tags. I think we actually did need to play the oppo, yeah. Because I was like, I cannot win fast enough that you cannot threaten to clear tags. So we had to push it a bit. I can mix out 50 cards since that's half a pack of sleeves. Yeah. But if you want to sleeve your ID, you probably should play 49. I guess most people sleeve their ID in a different color, right? Gonna just build a deck that runs the most possible cards. It's not that, it's actually really big. It is really big. All right, here we really need to push in the remote server because D is definitely coming at us soon. Conduit in the bin, we're not going to see that till much later. Noom, we need to probably res ice. This is where like you start, you know, poking us down. If we do install advanced events here, we discard cards. I don't know if D is going to be playing Hippo. I'm not sure what like modern loot lists are on in terms of like the respect. I don't think Ping is going to hold out enough. VSA might be annoying enough and we're going to be holding like garbage in our hand. So we probably can go for this on R&D. This in server 1, and then we're going to push on next turn. I think we cook this a bit. The question is, what do we keep? What do we throw out? And I'm actually not genuinely sure. There's a chance we throw out an Oracle Think Tank in archives. I think that might be correct. And then next turn, ideally, we do advance, install something. Best top deck here, I think, is an Amaze Amusements, as much as we expect the blown to be imped. Cleaver's down, so ping is bad. Good thing we dealt with that. Imp is down, so VSA, we're going to hit HQ. VSA is pretty good here. This is really annoying. Again, there's generally only one buzz on the list. Run flew into while playing Rando NBN deck of the week. Nature's Healing. Shout out to Iron Fox. Wait, what happened? Oh, it was a simul chip on the table. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, not as good. Hit a behold here is really disgusting. Oppo research. Okay, we got oppoed. This is where it begins. This is where it begins. Every turn, one card's going to be trashed. Man, these decks are, as much as they want to be aggro decks, they're really quite a prison. If D hit a behold there, like there's a chance. I don't think we win, but it's like obviously really, really bad. So we just have to hope. Just have to hope. Spin Doctor to the table is a bit weird. Maybe we should have put a Rashida, because if D forces this, we're drawing into an open HQ. I'm just hoping that we have so much garbage that it's fine to draw into an open HQ. And by garbage, I mean trap cards that we don't care if D hits. I have my IDs on clear sleeves too easily to accidentally shuffle them in. Yeah, that's what I often do. You don't want to shuffle your ID in. It happens a lot. So you always get a complementary color. You get your blues and oranges together. Your peaches and dentistries. All right. D's moshing. This looks like a blown on the table. Now with Audrey, you can probably not challenge it too safely into ping. But now we're going to be building Audrey counters because you probably hear you knob curry the Audrey. You're going to imp anyways, and then you have 2 Audrey counters. I just don't think you want to do this last click because of ping. This deck also has no Mavari, which is really strange for a meta deck. Hit the behold here. Fuck. It's so bad. At least we have the spin doctor on the table. And there's a chance the Spin Doctor play actually makes a bit more sense if D's familiar with the decklist of the week, because this is like definitely what you do with a Behold. Like you just put it on the table and be like, whatever. Fermenter, okay. Single tag isn't that threatening. It's not that threatening. It's annoying. Like again, as long as D has cards in hand, it's not the end of the world. I think that's totally true. But yeah, we're gonna lose that soon. All right. It's gonna be hard because we can't purge because it's our whole turn. I think we're gonna get crushed. I don't have huge hopes here, but the only way that we have hopes here is if D, like specifically if they bungle into a snare and we don't lose the end of line. But like this run on HQ is way too good. Hit the Behold. Shipment. Okay, we've lost 2 oppos and our tag punishment. We have 1 end of line. D's holding. And mind you, it's actually really hard to end a line combo because with Audrey, you can just like, well, you have to see it coming, but you can always just send a steel skin on your own conditions. And soon it's going to be a Behold end of line. Who knows we're going to lose there. So can we consider purging here? Not, it doesn't do too much. It stops the fermenter. But, oh, that's good, actually. I think D might charge the remote server sooner than later. Yeah, this is going to be tricky. Okay, steel skins, mind you. That was fed. That was fed, I think, on their turn. I think you probably want to do that on our turn. Depending if it's easy to goof that up on JNet, but like if you want buffer drive to fire twice. But it looks like that was on D's turn. So best thing we can do here, 16 credits. Uh-oh. Pinhole. Ruh-roh. Sarievna. Okay, let's think about ping 2 here. So let's say if you do eat during the counter size remainder run, the runner cannot break more than one of its subroutines. So 2 net damage is kind of fun because buffer drive has been used this turn. I'm going to pay 2. D has enough money. This seems fun. Just see what happens. We're not going to res the Spin Doctor because I don't think D is charging a Rashida for sure. Oh, no. So that was on... D did it right. So this is on their turn. So they did bottom of labor rights. That's a bummer. We're trying to hit the labor rights, but yeah, D didn't mess it up. I don't know why we expected D to mess that up. Draw 2. I think we're going to need to. Amaze in the remote server is good, but unfortunately Amaze is a stolen agenda, and so it has absolutely no text against Lou, who's just going to imp the agenda. So the Rashid is going to get trashed. Obviously, the Spin Doctor's threatened, but this happens like 9 out of 10 times when you see people play Pinhole in person. You don't have to say what you're accessing. You just say, I'm going to Pinhole, and then if they say okay, then you choose. I've seen so many people say, I'm going to Pinhole that. You don't have to do that. Say Pinhole and then wait, and then decide I'm going to touch that. Because in theory, a player could have panicked here and like res the Spin Doctor and popped it because they're not sure what D is going to use, and then D gets 2 like, you know, cards down with 1 single action. You want to avoid that at all costs. So just Pinhole and then say, okay, do you want to access? They say yes. Then you decide. I've seen a lot of players give up the information of what they're going to Pinhole. You don't have to let them know until the Pinhole is actually resolving. Credit 18 simulchip fermenter on the table. No, do you need another fermenter here? Maybe just the breaker. Oh, conduit. That's terrifying. At least we're okay with that. Because Slab and Maze on Archive, they think they won't steal their remote server. Oh, that's true, actually. That's a good way to place to put it. I'm thinking of putting an R&D here because it like eventually beats the conduit. Like if you see 2 agendas. The fact that we're holding 2 Behold and D stopped running centrals feels kind of rough. But I have no doubt it's just a matter of time. Now this is Sarievna, Sentry, 3 subroutines. That's pretty reasonable into Audrey. And then a ping, which is like whatever. So we could put it on R&D. Not sure we want to. With 2 Beholds in our hand, I think it might be better on Archives. I think you're right. Let's try to put something in the remote server. Okay, that's something we can put in the remote server. If we score it, we're technically on game point, and then we can solid advance the last copy of it. That's like fine. But unfortunately, putting this in server 1 is not very good. I'm gonna put this in R&D. Let's see what happens. It might be better on Archives. Do we have any agenda that fires when accessed? Because like in theory, that means if you pinhole this, it hits you, which is kind of cool. But I feel like almost all the agendas besides the face-up ones are not when accessed. They're when stolen. But like imagine pinholing this and taking a tag. That'd be kind of fun. You generally don't want to score these out. Like that's another big thing with the deck too, right? Like you really need to score the Bolognas. QPM, my beloved. Oh, was it one accessed? Oh, that'd be sick. All right, Behold here would be kind of nice. D is running early on the turn, which is fantastic. End of line, we kind of want to keep it, but I don't think we can really count on it. Okay, we'll pay 2. So if D trashes this with 2 oppos out, again, there's just like, it's wild. Like sometimes you think Lu's going to be rough into oppo. Mind you, a lot of big reasons why we don't see Reality Plus is because Lu's in the meta. But like with 2 trash, there's only 1 punishment card for D, and it's not that bad. All right, Fermenter. The on access agenda were Harpsichord. Yeah, they're all gone. Fidel's on access. Yeah, the older stuff. Explodapalooza. Yeah. How's it going, by the way, Jason? I don't think I said hi. All right, blown in hand. We'll just get to game point. We don't have a lot of money. Actually, we probably ducked a bit too low. So maybe there's some respect here that this Amaze Amusements is a Mwanza, but like we don't even have the money to do install advance Bologna. Yeah, this is actually kind of tricky. We don't have a lot of money. Like, I don't know if we can afford the Behold. D can have paid to steal the Bologna on this board state. Like, this is just going to be clinical. Like, we're not going to have a choice fight here. Maybe we have to ignore all centrals and push on the remote server only, but I don't think that works against this engine. Just going to imp that. Maybe there's a tendency to complain about what's good, but like, man, being stuck in with a Lu deck is really, really rough. All right, Boomerang's down. Just still so much value coming. Like the value does not end with buffer drive. 3rd Simulchip. We know 1 Labor Rights is like near the bottom of the deck. So that's all that really matters. So scoring at the Beal, not in our best interest. The blown is like what we want to score at. This stinks. Like we should concede. Like we got nothing here. We got nothing. Like I don't know what to do. Honestly, the lead deck already feels so disrupted that I don't think Burner's going to make as many waves as some things. I think Burner's going to make waves because you can play in Shaper. Like I don't think you're going to splash Burner into Anarch. Yeah, we're just throwing this point out. But like, you know what I mean? So can we ever get D to run through this last click? And again, at this point, the single tag punishment in the deck doesn't exist. Like, I think this game was over before it started. Unless D really misplayed into Snare. Because D breaks everything for relatively free. I don't think we res the pink here. I think we have to res the pink when it matters. Mess the Chesto is like something. But it drops us down to 1 credit. Yeah, we can't res anything here. I'm going to res a ping. Do you see corporate tag decks getting stronger or weaker with the new set having runners self-inflicting tags, but also getting ways to remove them, according to your prediction video? It depends. If the runner is actually like floating tags from turn to turn, but then has some like weird protection, like resource protection, I think then you have an interest of pursuing things like end of line. So then it's on the tag me deck to have ways to not die to tags, right? Like if people are going on the way to tag themselves consistently, and mind you, Reality Plus is going to be really disgusting because Reality Plus is not the first time that you give the runner the tag. It's the first time the runner takes a tag. So that's the other part that I'm really scared is like if Sebastio is like somebody who takes tags turn after turn after turn after turn, like why not just play Reality Plus where like you're getting 2 credits on, I guess, well, they generally get tagged on their turn anyways. I don't know. The game might have ended the Buzzsaw install, but solid job playing out. Make D earn it. Yeah. We got no plays from now on. Like we got nothing. We can't really res that because then we're going to lose the conduit. D should steal this. You don't really need to imp this. You could imp it. I don't think you want to. Yeah, D is piloting this well, but like there's no combination of cards that does anything against this engine. Buffer drive doesn't even rotate out. No, it's gonna be on for a really long time. It's an Ashes card. Yeah, this actually could be a mistake. In theory, this could be a mistake that could be game costing. If D runs here and hits a Behold and can only clear 1 tag, we could do Bologna into shipment. Now, if D knows the deck, D knows where the 1 shipment is, but this is the sort of like run that I don't think you have to make when you're this far ahead, but there's a small chance a run on this click actually costs you the game. Because D wants to get the imp, but there it might not be strictly correct because you can lose there to, even Snare means you float a tag. Shipment's 2 tags? Yeah, exactly. But if they hit Behold, they can only clear 1 tag. So they'll go from 3 down to 2. So then we could do Bologna shipment. Money willing, actually. Money might be 1 credit. Yeah, they're already tagged. Exactly. So that is like 1 run that actually might catch up to you. We're just doing this. So yeah, like there's small margins where this deck can capitalize on even the slightest mistakes. But specifically where like Lu knows where 3 of our tag punishment cards are. Let alone... Yeah, no, it's not going to be great for us. Maybe we should have like Spin Doctor back in Oppo, but at the end of the day, right? Like we need to put an agenda in the remote server and Oppo on the same turn to make a fork. And even if that's the case, D can just clear the agenda because we still have to score at a Bologna to win, right? Like at the end of the day, even scoring out, like we can make an oppo fork with Bologna, which is kind of awkward. I guess we'll res this now. You can probably pay 4 credits for this, let's be honest. Like D can easily afford 4 credits for this. Yeah, there you go. Because like we're making D spend 1 credit a turn. 4 credits for that's totally fine. And you might not imp this if they want to go HQ. And actually this is a mistake because we for 1 turn went down under behold credits. Yeah, D paid for that. So D might run HQ here. Imp badge is usually just GG versus NBN, sadly enough. Speaking as NBN Psycho, yeah, I agree. I think the Lou matchup is, again, one of the biggest reasons why we don't see a lot of Reality Plus anymore. It's really, really messed up. Mavirus is cool, though. All right, they didn't run, which is great, because if D trashed the behold, and oh man, we're cooked. Server 1 credit, like, what plays can we make, you know? Apologies. The game will be over soon enough. But like, this is the thing too, is like D doesn't have a good incentive to go conduit on centrals because this looks like a Mwanza. Maybe that was on us. So D just needs to play this turn, every turn run the remote server. And like, maybe there's a chance that we snare labor rights, but if the buffer drive's alive, it's not going to do anything. So yeah, this is where like you're stuck in with them more than they're stuck in with you. I guess we'll res this. This is gonna, oh, that's a good hand. So we'll shuffle back in Shipman Oppo, I think. Shipman Behold, probably. Yeah, I don't think Oppo does anything. You still make a successful run here, so you do get your knob curry if you want it. Right, cool. So D, 2 clicks left. If you hit a Behold, fine. If they hit a snare, fine. So there's nothing actually really good for us here. End of line. Okay, that's not good. All right, we have 1 more win condition in the whole deck. It's 1 shipment from Validius Burskin, 18 cards. And D needs to somehow end their turn on 2 tags, which I don't think is happening. How much damage can you do if you just jam snare? Not much, because of buffer drive, right? Like buffer drive just does 2 or 3 labor rights. Oh, 1 labor rights is gone. That's a good labor rights too. D knew the bottom of the deck. Deck tracking for labor rights is actually really cool for buffer drive. Hey, Asphyxia, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. Okay, so how many labor rights were there? I think we only saw 1. Ask nicely to take 2 tags. I think it's literally the best bet. Yeah, we could ask. And again, the problem is that Maze doesn't do anything against snare. So the best we can do is, again, keep them busy. Okay. Yeah. Yep. So like end of the line, we're not seeing a lot of it, right? Like out of faction. Like if I'm expecting end of the line, I think I'm more likely going to see it in an NBN deck or even a Jinteki deck sooner than Wayland. So I think that is the big question. Like if people are tagging themselves consistently in like just a couple weeks, do you see real hard tag punishment? I don't think the NBN decks are going to change that much. The question is like, does Wayland? Bluff the Behold is a spin doctor? I think we can. It just doesn't do anything. Like we're better off. D is always running the remote server 1. The only chance that we have any teeth into Behold is if D messes up and runs HQ on click like 2 maybe after we res a ping or something. So if we put the Behold in the remote server, it's just an economic trade that's not great for D. Like we spend 2 or not bad for us or not terrible for anyone, right? So this is the best time we can get a Behold is maybe on an HQ run. Like if D steals a blown and runs back, maybe we can get a Behold. So the pricey, it's only 2 credits because we get 2 back, right? Right? So now, like, D just clears the tags. Install 2 traps and a 3-2. That's a possibility, but even if we do all that and it lands perfectly, we can't afford all the traps, and we can't score at the 3-2, and scoring out a 3-2 doesn't even matter. Like, we have to score out a Bologna to win. Yeah. I was cooking something with Threat Assessment to fight Lou. Threat Assessment, I feel like, is always a better card than amount of play it sees. Because you either put a card on top of their deck, or they take 2 tags. Like, that's a mean subroutine. Or, like, ability. That's good. It solves a purge. Losing the Knob Curry loses MU. Like, it actually is pretty bad. 10 Virus Audrey, I know. It doesn't matter, though. All right. Predictor to draw is not very good. Draw. We got nothing. And now if we don't put in the remote server, D just goes centrals. Again, the best we can do is hope that D uses Audrey with buffer drive and then snare hits a labor rights. And then maybe D runs out of money. But like, we're still looking at one simul chip in hand, so the fermenter is going to come back. You have face down spin duct to draw. Yeah, I know. Maybe we should have used that actually. Let's just hope this is something. I just think D runs this first click every turn. It's not going to matter. And at some point when D gets tired, they're going to run. Like they've been building conduit charges slowly. It's just like this is a Mwanza. And I think, do you think that's the problem with Mwanza is if you know this is a Mwanza, you shouldn't interact with it. So like this sort of play pattern is more common. Oddly enough, we said that the way to beat this is not to run anything that's not advanced or double advanced. But yeah, it's totally different for Lou a bit. I guess a bit because you don't even care about oracles. Let's see what happens. If D uses Audrey here to save credits, no, just paying 4. Makes sense. So all the damage happens at once, so you choose what you want to buffer drive. So is Boomerang, Labor Raid, Strike Fund? Okay, no surprise. So only one of those goes to the bottom. It's going to be Strike Fund. So that means that D's hand is, I think, Simul Chip Labor Raids. Pretty sure Simul Chip Labor Raids. Yeah, I'm worried that this game is going to go on for much longer. I think we might just throw in the towel so we can move on. Like maybe if we purge here, no, D just cracked it. So we'll see what they sandwich it back in. They just go for another fermenter. You're trapped in here with us. Oh man. Let me know if you see a window. I think that's like the one thing that I'm a bit scared about these sort of like engine decks is like barring a virus, you don't often have a window. These things are just an absolute siege engine. They are unending. May as well install the Bologna next turn. No, the only way that we possibly win, we're holding on, is shipment from Vladisibir's Bologna, so we need to keep it. Maybe an infinite stack isn't good for the game. I think there might not be. I'm really like excited that it's like weird. NSG is like cut down on recursion cards and like buffer drive seems so bad when it came out, it wasn't an issue, but we're at the point where like recursion cards are becoming problematic again in Netrunner. That being said, most corporation decks have a bit more of a proactive game plan than this. Like, admittedly, parts of the majority of the deck, the game plan of this deck is to like let them come at us. So that's not going to help us, right? Like, this is where you want to present other issues like border controls and defensive upgrades and like, you know, the other parts of Netrunner. But here it's just it's something else for sure. But yeah, no, some of the recursion cards are actually kind of strange. Labor Race, mind you, at some point in the game was restricted, if not banned. I think at least restricted. I mean, Buffer Drive specifically works well with Audrey. It's otherwise not a great recursion card. Oh, 100%, yes. Oh, they stole it. Okay, that's good. The game will be over soon. Labor Rates feel more problematic than Buffer. 100% agree, yeah. Labor Rates feels a bit more problematic. Can I just... We can just... Can I... Yeah, one more turn. We'll do one more turn. Like, what are we trying to do here? You can concede by installing Bologna. Yeah, that's probably the better way to doing it. Right? And like, if we had check as Scions and immediately open deck lists, like install advance events, you'd actually reconsider. Because the Scion is what, 3 tags? It's like something. It actually does control D's turn to some extent. Oh, D's charging Fermenter. That's so sick. I'm gonna draw 2 cards. Nice. All right. One more Simul Chip. Simul Chip for Fermenter. Let's go. Yeah, no, it doesn't end. It just doesn't end. Oh, we have the shipment. So like D just has to take a tag here really poorly. So like this into a ping or something. We can't put this in the remote server as a bluff, unfortunately. You're not allowed to. It's illegal. Because it says HQ R&D. It won't even let you. But just whatever. It's almost over. Mwanza on HQ? Yeah, maybe actually. That might actually keep D out, but obviously it means that we lose really quickly. So if D runs into this somehow really, really poorly, it's hard to imagine. No matter what, D has to clear 2 tags. They can afford to do that. They're getting to the point where they get a free like 4 credits clicklessly off of the what's it called, Strike Fund package. Apologies, this is not the most interesting. It's almost over. I have a problem sometimes giving up because when you win after all of this, it feels really good. Wonder if charging message chest or purging helps in tempo. Purging has no benefit because Nobkuri just refills it super easily. You run HQ for a credit. That being said, advancing the message chest was not a terrible idea. That's honestly a fine idea. I think we draw. I was wrong. I think we needed to like spin Dr. Snares back in to draw. Yeah, that was not right. That being said, if we had an oppo here, we actually have an oppo window. I tell you to take me tonight out, you decide to play Mwanza deck. Patrick, it's the decklist of the week, man. We have an oppo window here. It's a shame we don't have it. Maybe we could have spin doctor for an oppo. Yeah, actually, maybe. Might as well do a 3x reprise Ken. We did it yesterday on Tuesday. Okay, no, there's not really a window. Okay, the game's over. They'll run this. For what it's worth, they don't have to run this. There's nothing on the table that actually, as long as you know the deck list, that runs the game. So you don't have to run this, but why not? And for what it's worth, scoring at the Bologna here, Beal is strictly wrong. We should discard this. Yeah, at least the game's over. We should strictly discard this because it doesn't really help us win unless we want to go Bologna for the last think tank. But the last think tank is in the archives. Which subroutine is gonna fire? Yeah, so the only good play here is like maybe Beal into Oppo. I think we didn't really have exactly the money for that. We did just spend like 6 credits on this side. Yevna. Not at all. No, not at all. But yeah, in theory, if we did an Oppo, which is there's one left in our deck, we might have had a window because D has to figure out between clearing the tags. That being said, D had a charged solidarity badge, so they can just do like clear tag, clear tag, clear tag, run their remote server, and they usually wins because the worst case it's a ping, and then with the single tag I can't do anything. So we'll find out. But yeah, at least we're free. Yeah, I'm excited to see if the set has other stuff like, you know, tech cards. Like interesting tech cards I think are really cool. Right? Like not IP block, but magnet. Right? Those are the sort of cards I think I'm really interested because they give more decks more ways to play. I'm just drawing. Ah, we have the Oppo. Oh, never mind. We were meant to draw there. I should have paid attention. Saturn ability doesn't cost you more. It just pays the runner. Oh, no, I meant 6 because we installed for 2, rest for 4. Yes. Yeah, they get the money. We don't lose the money. 100%. Yeah. It's just the install cost, right? D-Jack's out. It's not wrong. I thought the game was going to be over, D. You were meant to run it. You're meant to free us. This is the right play here. Wait, does snare actually do something? Snare actually does something. 1 in 7 for an impactful snare. 2 in 7, the game is over. What are you betting on here? Please hit the snare. Oppo? I wouldn't say it's the worst hit, but like, oh. Snare would have been like nearly game winning. Did they have like, they actually took risks there. If they hit a snare, I think we win the game. Oh my God. Now the worst part is that we're going to score the spiel and go down to no credits. But now they have to run their remote server no matter what we put in. So we're going to discard some stuff. Snare and remote overinstall. At that point, it's not good because D always runs a click one. Like the snares are not going to work anymore unless D makes a mistake. And the only way we can make a mistake is if D pushes server 1 as well. But we had a chance. It was unlikely. It was more likely we lost there than anything. But now there's no more oppos. We can spin doctor here. Now we just want D to hit, unfortunately, the shipment. Or no, the end of line probably. Just, yeah, obviously not the snare. Oh, great. Okay, cool. So we still have a win condition. All 3 oppos are out. Yeah, they know that. We're down to 4 cards, right? Like this also, like at some point we just lose the game. And I do think the Mwanza here, like you just don't run it. Like the conduit is just gonna be there. So we have a play that involves like ping. Unfortunately, if we install the ping on top of here, I think we actually do get rid of the VSA. It doesn't matter. And then we get a ping on HQ. And then there's some weird play. Oh no, that doesn't actually do anything. Because we pay 0 for this, but then we pay 4 for the snare. Should probably just spin doctor everything you use of this game. Yeah, we have to do it this turn. We should have done it this turn actually. But like, unfortunately, if we install res here, we can't fire the snare into the end of the line. We just have to hope D like really, really goofs it up. But D's been playing well. I think they are intentionally torturing you. No, they're playing like the way that they should. Conservatively. Like they're not going for flashy finishes, which like you can run R&D. You assume this is a Mwanza. 1 in 5 we lose. 2 in 5 we're a pest. End of the line. Okay, we no longer have any tag punishment at all in the whole game. We cannot win the game anymore. We can't. Oh, we could in the remote. We could in the remote server. But now the snares and beholds have no value. The conduit is totally. I know it sees all of R&D. It's really good. It sees too many cards. So this is a turn that we draw with Spin Doctor. D might last click run R&D or HQ. Excuse me. So we have control over how the game ends. We're gonna put the Bologna back. The perfect crime. Did they steal their trash yet? Yeah, they did. So Oppo doesn't do anything. They have 17 credits. For what it's worth, they're finally out of money. Just kidding. There's no simul chip. So we have to get a win condition here. It's probably more likely shipment. I think it's much more likely we win off shipment than anything else. There is a Oracle in here, so D has a clear tag. Whatever. They're on game point. We make money. That's been in there since like turn 3. A lot of people goof up Oracle into archives. It's a really hard thing to play around. Oh, it's 10:30 for the fun. Yeah, run R&D for the fun. Are there any agendas in here? Wait, we can win. 1, 2, 3, 2, 4. There are no agendas in the deck. No, there's one Bologna in the deck. Oh, we lose. Yeah, we lost. There's a Bologna in the deck. Unless we draw it. Unless we draw it. Yeah, we put back the Bologna. I was counting. That's the only agenda in R&D, and D knows that the Spin Doctor shuffle just loses the game. We should have just not shuffled. The game would have been over. Yeah, I put back the Bologna. I don't know if I said hi, Janktivist. How you doing? I think I might get Hemlock this weekend. It's a Noom. Cool. No, you're decked? I don't think we're decked. Because D imped already. You're right, if D like cycled the Samuel chip the imp, yeah, we'd be decked. But I don't think it matters because they know. I think we draw 2. And hope that's not the Bologna. Fuck. Are you kidding me? We play this out to the end. The Bologna's the last card. If we drew the Bologna there was a chance. And mind you, at this point, has D taken a tag? D has taken a tag. The problem is econ, because if we res this ping, we go down to 1. And if you want to shipment out a Bologna, it costs you 2 credits. Oh, this is so cursed. Hoping to get gamblers. Any news on Velma's Diner? No, and now it's like really far behind because we're doing spoilers week stuff, right? Oh man, are you kidding me? Maybe D walks away from this. Might as well res the Amaze. Nah, because we need the money if D jacks out. But in theory here, like D can clear 1 tag if we had the Bologna hand, make 1 run on HQ, and then we could do credit, install Bologna. Nah, we just don't res the ping. Yeah, we shouldn't res the ping. We were 1 credit short because we do credit, install, advance. GG. If I drew that agenda, I had a chance. This was painful. Yeah, we had a chance. It was only a 35-minute gain, but like we gained 50 credits. D gained 107. I don't think so. Really? Oh, and run back? Is it up to 2? No, you may draw 2. Oh, so D had 1 more simul chip. Bummer. So we didn't track that well enough. Because D has a simul chip. So if that's the worst case, D runs a simul chip, trash the last card. Oh. Beans. That works too. I thought you'd imp and run back on R&D to end the game. Yeah, there's Claw too. So yeah, maximum misery is what I'd call it. Yeah, it's a bad matchup. Unless you win really early. Yeah, I know. The easiest one was for me to concede 15 turns ago. Hope Blue gets retired soon. Yeah, I kind of feel that. Like, I don't know. It's an absolute grind of a game. And like lose the one sort of deck right now, like losing to tier 1 Hoshiko that's just doing good stuff versus losing to this deck that is slowly pulling you apart. This one feels so much worse. And it's really hard. Like a lot of the tier 2, tier 3 decks have no game against this. And it stops you from doing a bit of the more goofy stuff. But like just good stuff, value-based Hoshiko, right? If you want to think that's the tier 1 deck, like losing to that is not that bad. Losing to like Criminal that's getting accesses is not that bad. Yeah. I think you just ban Buffer Drive. Yeah, I think that would help. Or Labor Rights. Yeah, I can't do anything. I don't think you have to run the remote. I think you can just do nothing. Until but you also hit too early oppos. I think it's Knob. Knob is obviously quite messed up. Yeah, purging actually makes sense around Knob Curry. There's a lot of parts of this engine that like are relatively well connected, which is a really cool part about the deck, right? Like Knob Curry means that purging has next to no value unless you can full lock out the runner, which is very difficult. Simulchip, obviously busted powerful in this deck. This one's not even on cookbook, which I find really fascinating, but it's, yeah, well, 2 botchless only, so maybe that makes sense. Oh, there is a cookbook. Okay, wasn't that important, obviously, because it was soft. I think the remote is safer. I think it is. With your money, yeah, I think it is. Yeah. It's weird. I just want to throw Regulus in this deck. It's probably too slow. I feel like I'd throw YDLs soon, too. It's if you know the list. If we're open deck lists, I don't think I do. But I could see enclosed deck list, yeah. But I think you're right that there's nearly no reason not to run the road. Yeah, just every turn run the remote server. Yeah, and if you have to run every server, that yeah. Thanks to the game, eh? Yeah, it's hard. It's hard. There's like, I don't know. It doesn't feel like there's anything we can do into that. Besides like go real fast, real early. And yeah, Buzzsaw into HQ would have been okay. Hey, catch your end. All right, let's move on to a news section. We got a lot of news. It's way later than I thought it'd be, but hey, we have some cool stuff happening. Let's talk about it. That was meant to leave the game dramatically. Okay, so no doubt you know this. This starts tomorrow, the spoiler season of Rebellion Without Rehearsal. Stoked. Stay tuned to Null Signal Games. Just going to check because technically it's the 8th in some parts. No news so far, but these have moved around in order. That's strange. It didn't used to be like this, but there's nothing new here so far. Preview season. Eventually, we'll get a calendar, I reckon, that tells you where to go to different places, but NSG will be kicking off tomorrow. My guess is we'll see a runner tomorrow. It's usually how they open it. I think NSG is more runner than corp. So yeah, stay tuned to that, of course. Again, we put a video up yesterday. I need to respond to the comments, largely just talking about like what we think about the upcoming set. I'm really glad I put this out. It was kind of a last minute idea and I think it turned out relatively well and people's feedback has been fantastic. A lot of people are in the chat, in the comments, you know, making the predictions, which I think is so fun and something that we're going to be able to call in really soon. On that note, Daily Cast is very, very soon. For those who don't know what Daily Cast is, it's one of my favorite things. So this goes back a long time. Sengren has done it for a long time. Ed did it for a while too. I'm not sure who comes in first there, but if you want to subscribe, notify yourself to Sengren SC on YouTube and Twitch. What's going to be happening for the next like 7 or 8 days, whatever it is for the spoiler season. Jeff is going to be coming on at about 6 p.m. Eastern. It starts tomorrow. Ed did it first. Okay, thank you, Sengren. So at 6 p.m. Eastern, Jeff comes on and basically with a couple people that are joining him, and I don't know if there's any open slots, but this is open to anybody in the whole community, which is fantastic because you get a lot of voices. Sure, you get people that you might know of before that have other platforms, but you also get a lot of folks reaching out who are just like, you know, playing Netrunner casually, locals, people who don't have platforms, and it's fantastic. I like that so much. And people come together and they just basically they collect the spoilers from that day and talk about it. It is like television. It's just like a talk show at the end of the day, and you get a lot of different views on it. So this is from the Tomlin Initiative. I totally forgot Jeff inserted his face into Audrey, which is super charming. But this starts as soon as tomorrow at 6. So if you want to hear more angles on stuff, check that out. It'll be every day at 6 p.m. Eastern, which is so sick. I'm very stoked for that. Again, if you want to hit the notify button, also it's on Twitch, twitch.tv/SengrenSC. They'll be there. Those thumbnails are so good. I know, I totally forgot. These are as great, especially with the names on the front. Like, good job there. Good publishing. You want to do something fun? Please DM a graphics designer challenge if possible. So this is really cool. And unfortunately, this is the last couple hours before we can do this, but Utati sent this to me just this afternoon, and Utati put together a last-minute predictaganza, which is basically a form that you can fill in, and it's not dissimilar to Solom Storm's recent, points prediction thing. Well, recent in some ways, you know what I mean? But basically, we can make bets about what we think is going to be in the set, and Utati will be going through the results. And did you see the bingo board I did for GLC? No, Jai, I didn't. Excuse me. But we can do this right now. So either we post it in the chat right now, or the other thing we can do is we can go together and do this and then see how we do as a group, like as a chat. Unfortunately, I can't fill this in. I am not allowed to fill this in because obviously with spoilers, I have seen some cards, so I can definitively tell you answers to some of these things. And obviously we want to avoid that. So do y'all want to do this either privately or do you want to do it right now? Because from my understanding, YouTube even has a poll function. We can do this somewhat mathematically. Does this seem fun? I'm going to wait 6 seconds for a delay, but we can do this and see how it goes. I need to fight to keep my second place prediction title. So Dan, how's it going? That's the thing. It's like you watch what the stream does together and then you just change one answer that you think the stream is wrong in, and then you just beat them by 1 point. That's all it takes. It's that simple. But the questions are really good. But the problem is this is the last minute to do it because once an R&R card is revealed, it's really, really soon. My guess is 30 to 50% of people watching have some in-fight info of some sort. D, good game. I do worry about that. There's a lot of people to be like, I can't play this because I'm a playtester or something like that. So if you do know better, don't participate. Like that's what it is. So y'all want to do this really quick? Doesn't seem like the strongest response, but I kind of wanted to do it anyways. But I can't do these questions on my own because I do know the answers to some of these. I'm gonna wait 5 more seconds. If there's just one person who wants to do it, we'll do it. It's that simple. I think it's really cool. Jai, I don't know if you want to link your bingo board from GLC. You can't really link unless you like hide the link. That might be a good way to do it. All right, I feel like there's a chance we won't do this. If you want to do this, you have just a window right now. If you want to do it after and see what you would have done, so be it. But it's really difficult. Métropole Hivemind? Yeah, we can do it. Jenny, do you want to do this? I think we can do it. I'm just learning, so I'm up for no knowledge answers. That's fine, Christopher. Let's do it. Okay, let's give this a shot. Okay, so the new standard ban list will be announced with the release of RWR. This is worth 1 point. It seems fun. Okay, sick. I'm glad you're into this. So this has happened before. I'm pretty sure this happened on the last ban list that there was a ban update. I think it happened. What was banned on the last one? Ichor project, right? And it's a really interesting thing because a lot of these cards are tested in environments. They're like, okay, we know these cards are healthy and we're excited for the set, but they can't exist with something else. Oh yeah, Tithonium and Aqua. So it seems like folks are saying definitely a ban list here. Okay, cool. I'm down for that. Which faction will win the largest CO the weekend? Yeah, Obokata and Tithonium, yeah. Will win, I said Aqua, I was meant to say Obokata, excuse me. Which faction will win the largest CO the weekend RWR launches? 1 point for one, 4 points for both. Okay, so 4 points for both as in a corp and a runner, I take it. I DM'd you the ping link. Okay, I'll pull it up in a second. Yeah, I meant to say Obokata. I said Ikoa. That happens a lot. So what faction will win the CO? Obviously, even with inside information, this is hard to tell. My stink is the Anarch being a new ID is going to get a lot of attention, and I think that's pretty cool. I think HB and Wayland are the ones that are going to force it too. Based on HB seeming to be like a res and D-res deck, I think HB is going to be a trickier deck to get right immediately. Wayland's usually a bit straightforward and usually is a bit of a punisher deck, so that's really good against players who don't know what they're doing. NBN always just gets better too, and I do think that, what's it called, is going to make a fair bit more sense, like Epiphany. New NBN runner announced. Anarch HB? Anarch and Wayland. Okay, so we're locked in an Anarch. In terms of the other side, I want to see. Sir Waffle, how's it going? What we think? I don't know. My biggest guess is usually, like, this could be an old deck. Anarch Wayland? I like Anarch Wayland. It's between HB or Wayland. I think HB is going to be harder to build because it's going to be a weird deck. Right? It's like Thule immediately. It was like, this is really bad until a couple weeks and then people figured it out. Okay. Seems like that's where the hive mind is. We'll see. Neutral Corp, is that even an option? Oh my god, it's an option. Yeah. What if there's gonna be a wild Ampere deck? A new operation subtype. I totally forgot this was called out. Choose the faction that will feature this subtype most prominently. So new Byred wins it. So obviously it's an operation, so it has to be a corporation, and there's a new subtype. I don't think we can really gain much about this besides that operations, like, I think of Wayland as the operation faction, but that doesn't mean that they get a new subtype. I think it's really easy to make a new subtype for anyone. I just think, yeah, Lucas, I agree. Like Operation and Wayland work really well together. I think they said specifically that the new Wayland has to do something with either transactions or operations. Yeah, their transactions, this said, yeah. Maybe the NBN, something to make Epiphany make sense. I think that would be cool too. Oh man, this one's a hard one. My wild idea is Jinteki. Jinteki is like the faction that probably needs the most new wild stuff, right? Game 2. For no reason other than vibes. My wild idea is Jinteki. Wayland has to do it. They said the Wayland's going to be operation based. Yeah, they did say that it was going to be operation based, right? We haven't seen any expendable operations, right? Because that doesn't really make sense. Unless it's like basically attaching 2 operations to an operation. Jinteki getting new toys would be great. I have no doubt they're going to get really cool stuff. I don't know if it's going to be an operation. There's PsyOps already? Yeah, there are Psy operations. That's right. Okay, we're going to Wayland. Whatever. More threat cards. How many more threat cards? I don't think anyone can actually say, like, okay, how many threat cards do you think already are in the game? How many threat cards came out in Toman Initiative? I think people don't know what this number is because there's a lot of threat cards that either don't see play or you forget are threat cards, right? Like I forgot the Starlit Knight's a threat card. Did you think Fauna Trio is a threat card? It's not. You probably did because it seems like it should be, right? Like 4? 4 new ones or 4 old ones? You think there's 8, 2 per faction? Then shouldn't that be 7? Because runners got threat cards. I think that's the thing, Cold Lava. You're running into the trap. Is that runners got threat cards. And I think people forget that. It's much more than 8. 1 threat card in Ashes. There's 10 already? I don't actually know. But there's like way more threat cards than you think there are because you forget. You just genuinely forget that there's a bunch of cards that say threat on them. Like, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Everyone was so low because you forget the Shibboleth exists. You forget the Living Mural is a threat card. You forget that Atini is a threat card. Like there's a lot of like unimportant threat cards, which like it'll happen for sure, but just keep that in mind. 13 is way higher than you thought it was. And just because there's some threat cards that just like the threat text doesn't matter. Yeah, I did forget Debbie. Good. Straight forgot Living Mural is a card. Yeah, and maybe the new set will change your minds on that, but it is what it is. So how many more threat cards? And I do think there's a chance that the threats were front loaded on the basis that like you need to really present the new mechanic. I'd be surprised if it was equal or more. I would assume it's less. So what number do you want to go to that's maybe less? 6? 6 is low. Like I'm assuming at least every faction gets one. So let's do between 7 and 13 maybe, Jenny? Maybe every faction doesn't get one. I don't know. 12. Just one lower. 8 to bring it to 3 per faction. I like that number, right? So we're at 13 plus 8 is a higher number. 21. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I like that. I like that. 10 is the middle go. 7, 9 to. I think a lot more. I think 8 makes sense, but I'm seeing a lot more. I think there's gonna be a lot more corp threat than runners out. Let's go 9. Okay, we're seeing more 10s out there. Speaking of 10s, a 10 cost ice. What faction will this ice be? I have no voice in this one. Who's getting big ice? Neutral Corp, we're coming for you. Jinteki. What do you say, Jinteki? J for show? NBN? The card in the fan? There's 2 big cards in the fan. Oh, the big snake. Yeah, the snake is probably very expensive. Yeah, that makes sense. Which is all Jinteki needs. Bigger ice. 2 new cards with the academic subtype. What 2 factions will these cards be in? They can be both in the same faction. Tier 2. I thought NBN made lots of credits. They kind of do and they kind of don't. They already have a lot of big ice in the format though. 10 is a lot, mind you. There's only like 1 10 cost ice in the whole game. But like I would not. NBN Glacier is kind of its own thing. Anarch gets 1 as a connection. I think that's a sick call. I think getting an academic connection is a really, really cool way of doing it. And then I'm assuming the other one's on the corp side. I like that a lot. Academic is confirmed to be a corp only subtype? No. No way. Shaper? Wait, why is she not academic? What's her name? Arisana's partner. Why is Arisana's partner not academic? Nuka's academic. Yeah. Okay. No, not. Apparently not, even though she's a doctor, but I think it's because she's not in academia, I guess. But like, wait, what's her name? The Run HQ C2 on R&D. How is she not academic? Academic was a new, no, but academic came out in this cycle. Like Parhelion, the first academic was in Parhelion, so Nuka could have been academic. Beatrice, thank you. Anzuke confirmed it's a corp subtype? Really? Why the hell are runner cards not academic? Okay, apparently it's just a corp thing. Very strange. Okay, so apparently this is not a possibility. You don't want to mix subtypes across sides? That's technically true. Like, we've learned that the hard way. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. That's a bummer. Okay, fine. Yeah, I know, the MCA informant corp troubleshooter thing, but like, that's a really bad one to get wrong. The Beatrice card review is really good, by the way. Why that opened? Oh, it's about the chemistry, right? Yeah, who wrote this? Talassen wrote it. Of course, Talassen wrote this. I read this. So it's talking about all the errors and the chemistry. This is like what elephant's tooth and like the stuff on the board. It's very interesting. Yeah, Talassen is works in this field. Talassen's fantastic. I've read this a long time ago. I need to reread it, but it is basically a dissection of all the science that's presented, which is really quite funny. Academic, not Wayland, maybe NBN, another Jinteki. Another Jinteki makes sense. So we're talking about the theme, right? Jinteki academic doesn't make that much sense in the context of, I don't think it makes context sense of Atea. I think HB, NBN, and I don't think I would do Wayland. So I would do those. Because Wayland and academia seems nonsense. And then Jinteki, they're clone hunting. I don't know what they'd be do academically. Does this mean purging shouldn't work on Sandstone? Sandstone isn't a virus card. So purging removes all virus counters. So you can do it. I did have to look up the purging rules recently, but no, you don't purge virus cards. You purge virus counters and cards. Are you saying thugs can't read books? I'm saying thugs can't read books, Rongi. Unless there's more guns in academia. HB academic is like a weapons engineer. Thunderbolt's an arms factory. Seems a stretch. Is Thunderbolt the name of the? Oh yeah, because they said the name of the new one, right? Seems like a stretch. I think it's better than the clone hunters. Unless it's neutral. I think neutral could make sense. I think academic neutral is actually a pretty reasonable call. Thugs can't read books? I'm just saying. Guns, not books. That's what I've been saying since turn one. Thunderbolt definitely doesn't seem like they have an academic on staff. Okay, that's fair. I think neutral is like a fun academic subtype, right? Like a Rashida type character, somebody that's like just universally useful. As a thug, this is true. Academic also, like, as a subtype sounds neutral, right? Like they are meant to be impartial. Half of NBN's whole thing is education, isn't it? Yes, which is why I put that. But admittedly, the NBN, like the education subtype of NBN was all within Katara, and we're far away from that. Having invisible rules attached to subtypes is kind of cursed. That's why rules move strength rules out of icebreaker subtype and into interface keyword. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. The first ever card with both executive and sysop subtypes. What faction will this card be in? I don't have any intelligent thoughts about this. It's not going to be criminal. We know it's not runner because of these are corporation subtypes. Wayland makes a lot of sense. NBN makes a lot of sense. Jinteki doesn't. HB does. I would say the top three. Oh, we already have their sysops. That's true. Yeah, Wayland makes sense. They do get their hands dirty. I think I could see NBN too. I think there's going to be weird stuff about like what's going on behind the scenes of NBN. And we've seen nothing behind the scenes of NBN, let alone we haven't seen the sysop. Yeah, the Hollow Man, exactly. Like I'm very interested in the Hollow Man. So I think it's between Wayland and NBN. Executive and sysop makes sense for a Hollow Man. Because Hollow Man is like the person who's meant to be like pulling the strings behind Epiphany Analytica. What are these lore questions? I'm excited. I've read through these. I'm excited. I think it's a 50-50, yeah. Chad, do you want to get the final call here? I'll read the next 5 chat entries between Wayland and NBN. Lore questions are the best. They really are the best. Everyone's like so plugged into maybe it's just me. Is Op gonna get 2 cost dice? Have y'all seen the HoloNet yet? What's the HoloNet? All right, we're locked in 3. That's... Oh, you changed, Jai? All right, chat says Wayland. A new runner win condition. This will. Okay, so I think I've seen some good calls in like the comment section. The Hollow Man and the Hollow Man sung to the tune of the ShadowNet theme song. Okay, so new runner win condition. This will access a lot of cards, help you mill out the corp, something else but it doesn't use threat, something else but it uses threat. I think that this is a really busted question. Actually, chat's saying NBN here. So this is not right, okay? Access a lot of cards is not a win condition. NSG wouldn't advertise a win condition unless the card says win the game on it, right? Like, you don't advertise deep dive as a win condition. The way that they would in marketing. I agree that it is functionally win condition, but if NSG says there's a new win condition, they mean a card that says win the game on it. So it's not this, and it's not this. So I would say it's between the bottom two. Does it use threat or does it not use threat is the question. I think win conditions are probably a bit more healthy attached to threat. We would give them the benefit of the doubt there, and then that makes threat interesting. I would say it's probably the bottom. Black File, but in reverse. Would you have 3 turns to win the game? If you can survive 3 turns? I'd love a threat 8 win the game. Love that person that called the last set. I bet it's threat 5 do something hard to win. Yeah, maybe. Threat 6 win the game. Threat 6 is a really fun number for win condition. I would guess that this takes threat. I don't know if they'd print a win condition that doesn't have some sort of like scaling. Because like Vientian Keeling unfortunately had negative scaling. Bladderwort, not Bladderwort, what's it called? Maddie nuked the lights. The other one had Borehole has a scaling win condition. I'm assuming it has a scaling win condition. I mean, what was an anarch resource that says you need to stay alive while tagged for 3 turns? I think that's a really bad design because out of 95% of the games you find on JNet Casual, that doesn't matter, right? Threat 6, uninstall all your own programs to win. Well, if you can win, why do you need your programs, right? It was something like MTG. Barrel Glory? It's a bit cut off. I'm going to say this. A new Mythic Ice. How much will the ice cost to res? What's your favorite number? It literally could be 0. It could be 12. It could be 10. We have Mythic Ice that are some of the cheapest ice in the game. We have Mythic Ice that are some of the most expensive ice in the game. 10? I think chat thinks 10 is the fan snake, and the Jinteki fan snake is not mythic. We know that because it has a type. Threat affects both sides? Yeah, threat is from both sides. Rhyme 2? Yeah, Kevin, how's it going? Rhyme 2, 0, right? Like we have 0 cost mythic ice. X? Oh man, X is such a fun option. Imagine it's X and then nobody goes X besides us. Oh, X is so fun. I don't have a good answer here. Like I literally don't. Excalibur lookalike? Yeah, Excalibur is really cheap. There's a lot of like really playable mythic ice that's like 2 to 4, or there was. X counts as 0 when not defined. Yeah, but imagine we submitted X and it's right. X is so funny. Let's just do X because it's funny, because otherwise we're guessing. And like, this is a funny option that could be right. I like this a lot. All right. A 2 influence neutral event. What subtypes will it have? 3 points. You can put none if you think it will have a subtype. So let's look at some of the neutral cards that cost influence classically. So we have Deuce's Wild, which has no type, even though it can make a run, because it doesn't always make a run. We have the bad ones like Code. What's it called? Compiling? No. What's the bad one? Biobands is a run event. Yeah, we have classically seen doubles. We've never seen a runner triple. That's not true. We saw Day Job. Day Job's a quadruple. No, it just doesn't have a subtype. Direct access. Yeah, that's a run event. Whistleblower. That's a really bad one. No, the other one. The one build script in those don't have a type. These are typeless. So there's a lot of typeless stuff. Run event would be good with Debbie. I would be really surprised. Okay, so neutral influenced cards, especially something that costs more than 1 influence, is generally something a bit more important than just this, right? Deuces is totally typeless because it doesn't always make a run, so it can't be a run event. I'm imagining a 2 influence neutral card. It is like something closer to Buffer Drive, where it is something that is like worth building a deck around, not so much something that is like incidental, like Bioband's value. That's what my guess is. Like, I don't think it's like, I don't see a run event unless it's like make a run, do something ridiculous where you play 1 of in your deck. Because the idea that you're going to spend 6 neutral influence in any deck seems kind of cursed. Typeless bind boom. What are the event types for all factions? There's so many, Christopher. It's really hard to write out. I don't know if there's any faction. There's no faction locked run. There's no faction locked event types. There are some that are more common than others, but there's nothing that's faction based besides sabotage, like shows up more in Anarch, for instance. But there's no strict rules about that stuff. Double? I think double would make sense. 2 influence neutral event. Current? okay, hear me out. Current. Lockdown. Rebirth is sort of faction locked. I wouldn't say so, but like I would imagine a card like this is like Rebirth. Or like DJ Fenris. Like I think that's what I'm imagining it too, but it's an event, right? Like that's the hard part. I guess Rebirth is. How many runner event subtypes are there besides run and double? Runner event subtypes? Lots. There's a whole list if you go to the comprehensive rules. It actually has to write all of them. Ultimate chaotic choice expendable. The corp can play it from your hand. Reveal this. It's called hidden, and then when you add it to hand, you're not allowed to talk about it. I don't know. I don't think it's run. I think run would be really weird. Like imagine splashing a 2 influence run event. Like it has to be messed up. Weapon, it's an event though. I would imagine weapons are mostly programs. We haven't actually seen any weapons that are really weapons. Like all the weapons we see are not weapons. They're code weapons, which is strange, right? Like just give Mercury a bow staff. Typeless? Yeah, typeless is fine. Blackmail neoprint? Yeah, that would be a run event. The dirtiest laundry. I think typeless is, I think none makes the more sense. Priority? I don't know if they would introduce priority. I think priority might make sense for a big influence thing, but like I don't know if they would not invent a subtype, but introduce a new subtype with rules overhead. Just for this. Disposable shotgun. Weapon event is fun though, experiment. Yeah. Like a weapon run is actually kind of cool. We have revolver. Yeah, but revolver's program, right? Like all of the weapons are not physical objects. Oh, besides like the other stuff. Neutral Sabo would be cool. I'd be really surprised. I'm going to put none. I don't know. Just put Reese. Yeah, okay, that's fine. No thinking. Mod? We haven't seen a mod card in a long time, and mods are almost exclusively hardware. Priority already exists on runner cards, or at least it. No, it already exists, but NSG hasn't made a priority card ever. I don't think. I'm pretty sure NSG has not made a priority card. Like, has NSG even made a double? Oh, no, they did. They made Into the Groove. Never mind. I think that's the only one they've made. I'm going to feel really silly when that's not the case. I think that's the only one they've ever made. And it does not have any additional rules text because it just says on it. Rigging Up has a mod subtype. Wait, actually? Are there mod events? Whoa, okay, never mind. There's way more than I thought there was. In standard, you have Spark of Inspiration, Rigging Up, and Rejig. I think mod is such a hard call, but I think mod as an event type is kind of cool. Stealth? Yeah, I'm not. I think we would have seen some stealth already. I think there's some good guesses here. I think they're really hard. Yeah, let's just do that. I don't know. We'll see how it is. The lore zone. The Hollow Man. You really thought we'd let you keep this data that says the Hollow Man. I don't actually know what this link goes to. Oh, it's the text on Oracle Think Tank. So the Hollow Man seems to be, and it's been a while since I've read the lore. Hear me out, org crime. Flashbacks. So Oracle Think Tank, or sorry, NBN Epiphany, there's some sort of character that has like, I would say near religious kind of subtext around it that is behind the scenes controlling this, the Hollow Man. Kind of gives me the sort of vibes of like, can't tell if it's a person or it's a computer, Fallout New Vegas type style, but like they're clearly controlling stuff. And it seems like a lot of the political going-ons in the entirety of the story of the Liberation Cycle are actually because of what Epiphany is doing. I don't know where I got this. Disagree with me if you think you should, but it feels like the project, which I forget the name, to remove clone/Byroid rights seems to be an NBN initiative, which doesn't make sense considering like that is something that would be heavily incentivized by the HB and Shinteki people. This is actually honestly a really weird thing, because if any company is invested in having their, you know, products, unfortunately, lose their rights as people, it would be the people making those products for the other people, right? Like we saw the same narrative line in the, what's it called? In the Mumbet cycle, where HB was funding for Shinteki or for clone suffrage, and the same on the opposite. Shinteki was fighting for Byroid, you know, suffrage. And so far, the Jinteki and the HBs that we've seen are just like doing their own private military thing. Like Jinteki's just clone hunting, and Wayland HB just seems to be making weapons. So like, I don't understand why there's a story going on here that cares about hunting down clones, and it seems to be almost entirely attached to NBN for some reason. I mean, Epiphany Analytica is inspired from Cambridge Analytica, which is about doing the research behind political stuff. Yes, yeah, I'm assuming so. So it seems like the political motivations of everything going on within this entire, you know, cycle is based off of Epiphany, which is a bummer because we've seen next to nothing lore-wise into Epiphany, but I'm obviously excited to see more, and I think we are. Will not be revealed in this set. We've got that like frustratingly more than once, right? The like, what's Wayland doing in the north? Will not be revealed in this set. It's like, why are they like, this is the thing. Why are they digging here? It's not for diamonds. You can get diamonds really cheap. Not revealed. Later design out of 10. Like, at what point's the payoff gonna happen? Because we're 2 sets in. Is this gonna be paid off like in 2 weeks? I don't know. But I don't know. I'm assuming we're gonna see more of a concrete tie-in here. Ob is just nomming the land. Yeah, but there's something like sinister to this. Like, this is clearly they're digging for something, not digging for digging. But if you read the op lore, it's clearly that they're digging for profit. There's just this one specific card says it's clearly not for profit. It's Mr. Not appearing in this episode. Yeah, right? Carrie, is priority hard to design? No, it's not. I just assumed that they would have to like have a little rules insert, but they put all the priority text on the cards. So it doesn't matter. Epiphany specifically deals with politics and private deals, so it's totally possible they've been hired by HB and Jinteki to solve this issue for them. Yeah, I think so. And I'm excited for that narrative because I think it's going to be a huge bit of it. I thought op was just a criticism on the consumerism of Wayland and corporations in general. I don't think you have to go very deep for op to make sense. And there's really good op lore. It's just like, I don't know if flavor text like this is as important as it should be, but I'm fixated on this. And maybe it's because I had this as a spoiler card, but like, this is such a big open question. We've seen through all the lore that op is not out there doing anything unless it financially makes sense for them. So why are they digging for diamonds? Like, clearly there's something underneath here in the land in the north, and we did not get the payoff so far. They're digging for bad pub. Oh man, I don't know. This is the thing. It's like, yeah, we'll see. I'm hoping it's consistent, but like so far there's been some inconsistencies that just haven't come up yet. And yeah, appears next episode or whatever. They gotta put they gotta put the body somewhere. They're digging the big hole. Like my best friend growing up, his Nona, she's an older Croatian lady. Her like favorite pastime whenever she was stressed. And mind you, we lived in like the suburbs, right? She would just go into her back/front yard, and she was at that time she was like in her 70s. She would just dig holes. It would just be like the honest work that made her happy. She was retired, and she would just go in the back yard, just digging holes. No, what are you doing? Digging a hole, just digging holes, and then just filling the hole back up. And it was how she passed her time when she was stressed and needed to feel to do something. Sometimes you just need to dig a hole. Anyways, I don't know what op's for, but I don't think they're stress digging. This hole ain't going to dig itself. Okay, so the Hollow Man is a human Biro to clone a net-based entity, a group of people, a myth will not be real. I'm betting it's not a person. There's no way there's no way this a structure with the name man is a man. That's the obvious misdirection. Call yourself man, not be a man. And I don't even mean man, I mean human. Andre, before he got his glasses, wow, that nice old lady's digging holes. What? I don't even know what that means. She was lovely. Holograph, yeah. Or hollow as in not made of man. I'm assuming it's not based. A group of people is Wayland shit. A myth, honestly, could be real. I would believe myth. Will not be revealed in the set. I refuse to believe it. I refuse to believe it, because then we're going back to the Kimberlite field. You cannot be like the Hollow Man and not reveal the Hollow Man in the Hollow Man set. I'm not doing this. I have faith. We will have a story. Our story will be delivered. Not revealed. No. Myth would be dope. Yeah, myth would be cool. Net-based entity would be cool. It's Apex the whole time, right? Like that sort of thing. That'll happen. You think it's Apex? I'm pretty sure it's Apex. I'm thinking about it now that I've said it out loud. It's probably just Apex. Just trying to destroy everything slowly. Hollow Man definitely makes me think of a Biroid. But do you think a Biroid would fight for non-Biroids, like for detaining Biroids? Like they're out there doing terrible stuff to Biroids and clones. Can't spell a Hollow Man without a ho. I feel like we can assume from Andre's reaction to this conversation that we can assume he didn't get NBN scoops. Well, at minimum, I don't have the Hollow Man, and I didn't get the Kimberlite Field spoilers, so like that's all you're gonna get here. I'm probably gonna reveal something about my spoilers accidentally. Like, don't come through this too hard. It's in a couple days, but I don't know. I think it's net based. I don't think the Hollow Man's a person. There's no way. You don't use that name. Will HB get a cool dinosaur card after everyone thought a Stegodon was a dinosaur, but it actually turned out to be an elephant type thing? I knew that. This is not what's on mitosis. God, what an ugly elephant. Oh, but he's doing that. It's doing that. It's putting his trunk around it. That's not how it's made. It was a symmetrical animal, and it chose to do that for the photo op. It's a reasonable looking elephant. Is this real? Are these are just photos of elephants, though? So I know, I take it back. I just thought its face was like that. Like, no, it's doing that. I'm so sorry. I feel really bad. Will HB get a cool dinosaur card that everyone thought is Stego? No. What is this? Is this a photo of a Stego? Oh no, it is the Stego. Does anyone have a strong opinion on here? I would be very surprised to see dinosaurs in the upcoming set. Okay, Valentina Ferreira was a character quoted in the Super Deep for her flavor text and featured in the Butcher Siberia fiction. Very good story. Holy dinosaurs. Subscriber numbers plummeting because you're negging elephants. With Brazilian pronunciation known pronunciation guide. This is something that came up recently. Yeah, when you went to the pronunciation guide, it said how to pronounce Ferreira. Ferreira very specifically is, this is a character that came up, but her name, I did believe, came up on in the pronunciation guides, yeah, for the recent set. I don't think we've seen anyone else with that name, but that is like a typical Brazilian Portuguese last name from my understanding. And it is a wild drop to go through this. Also, at the end of the op storyline, she left because she lost a job. And then does she end up going down to Brazil to do stuff? Who knows? The moment I saw people call Stegodon a dinosaur, I blamed Games Workshop. Yo, Morgan, how's it going? I've been having my my loud Kimberlite anger at narrative stuff, so I'm glad you're here. I've also insulted elephants. I don't know. I'm on the fence. I would guess that this was intentional. I don't know if we've had pronunciation guides for flavor text in a really, really, really long time. Will Borhor come out the other side of Earth in Brazil? That's, again, it's the only reason why they were digging up in Kimberlite, in the Kimberlite fields, is to get to Brazil. I would guess yes. Oh, what will she feature on? Okay. Oh. I'm leaning towards, I would guess, a runner card. I feel like the ending of the story was her being kind of disinterested in corporation. Runner? Not present? I think she'll be present. That's a really weird thing to shout out. Like, we've never had pronunciation guides for flavor text. Corp card sysop? That'd be cool. It's really cool either way that this shows up, right? More Enter connections? I like that. I do like that. I feel like now I'm getting my stink in on this. I'm not listening to Chad because Chad doesn't think that Valentina will be here. Search your heart. You know it to be true. Thank you, Kato. So Runner's like a cool narrative thing to be like, they introduced this character. There was like a strong, confident character that they made a narrative out. And then Op was like, or Yaka fires her. And then she's like, okay. And then like, she's the next, you know, criminal connection or whatever. We do pronunciation stuff for flavor text now sometimes, by the way. Yeah, just to hide Valentina because you were caught in a trap. I feel like we're getting rused. I don't know. I honestly don't know. What's the hivemind saying, Jenny? I want to hivemind it, but like the hivemind's super inconsistent. I haven't pulled out the YouTube poll because I don't think we've needed to. Oh, there's the art zone. What the heck's the art zone? All right, one last hurrah. I'm going runner card, but like I'll do whatever the hivemind says. That's how the hivemind works. Not present, y'all. You picked the worst option, and I'm upset. Custodian's delight. Which faction will be the most disrespectful to furniture? Feet on table, no coasters destroying chairs. Why is this an option? For how many instances of the symbol will appear in the RWR art? How many have we seen already? We've already seen 3. The Hivemind, the Hollow-Man to not present. I refuse to believe the Hollow-Man is not in the set. Daniela? Wait, what? You don't, just feet on table. Come on. You're going to print an HB card where someone has feet? No. HB's about hands. Wayland's about feet. It's that simple. In Borealis, There were lots of feet on table. Yes, there was way too many feet on table. It was really funny. Apparently, like the art team was not, it was just an accident, but, and then like different art people are talking to different artists, and just there's like 3 or 4 cards with Wayland people with their feet up, which is like a classic Wayland image. It's just so funny that there were so many in the same set that happened. I'm not changing that. You can't convince me otherwise, but this is important because I think this is going to be a big number. We've actually seen it, I would say maybe too much, but maybe we've only seen this, the art so far. So mind you, this is on Burner. We also saw it, excuse me, on the art from this page. Oh, did you guys know this? Because I had to roll this back because I felt bad about it. We know what this card is called. I used this card art as part of a thumbnail. And I did that by going to the website and finding the source, by inspecting source. And the name of the card was there. So if you want to know the name of a card that will probably be revealed relatively soon if they're opening with it, right? You can find it. We know what the name of this card is. You can find it. I actually wrote it because when I did my video, I credited the artist and I credited the card. And then it was like, I probably shouldn't do that. But it just says an unannounced card illustration by Benjamin Gicoletti. But yeah, technically we know what this card is. You can find it on the NSG website. You just have to inspect source. Tell us? No, I'm not gonna. You got to do the work yourself. You'll find out soon, I reckon. What's the name? I can't tell you. I'm just saying it's out there. I'm not going to do it. NSG, we technically did a Netrunner on NSG and you can find it. You'll find it out soon. But you can find it. I found it. This number's big. I think we're going to see it on everything. We saw Hermes on a lot of cards. Like, I think it's a similar thing. Is this actually on some of the other cards? Like, was this already on Living Mural? You're going to get in trouble? That's what I'm worried about. No. So we saw a lot of Hermes icons on a bunch of the early set. I think we're still going to see them. 65. Every single card. Have we seen a card so far that doesn't have it? No, it's on. I was going to say the only card we've seen the full art of is Merger. And it's on Merger. It's central to the art on Merger. I would say 6, 7. It's an Anarch research called Friendly Yelling Contest. Ah, yeah, man. You're gonna make me inspect source from my phone? Okay, look, you can do it. Okay, we'll do it together. Open image in new tab. This doesn't work, right? It just says RWR cover, so they got us there. So the where I did is I went to shop, I think. I went to here, I think. I went here. You want to do it? I was here because this is the highest resolution one I've found. So I did inspect source. We're doing it together. Okay, look, it's not on me if we're hacking. Okay, so this is the banner. So you have to find what the card is called. So here you start searching. I'm reporting web dev. It's too late. Too late. We're already in. We're never running you. And then you can search here. So then I just started searching for like PNG and stuff like that, like file names. So this is Hush. That's not it. This is Hush. I'm pretty sure it's actually not a PNG because you can't right click save it. Yeah, if you can't right click save it, it's not usually a PNG. It's usually like a WebP file, which are unsavable. So let's see if we find a WebP. I'm not going to parse that. That's for sure. Oh, apparently WebP shows up in a lot of things. Can we find it? How do we find it? It's in here somewhere. I found it. I'm glad the name of this card is important. No, it's probably not important, but like I'm allowed to do this, right? It's out there. I don't want to upset MSG. I just feel like it's on the website. People can do this. Is this what we come down to? Is this how like fiendish we are for scoops? I can't find it anymore. They scrubbed it. Check the image back and see CSS URL. It's a JPEG. You think it is a JPEG? That makes more sense than... There, we had it. It's right here. Yeah. Did you see it? You see it? I'm glad we don't have one with an important name here. I know. If it was an important name, I wouldn't have called this out. I hope that's for sure. But yeah, it is called Eye for an Eye. It's there. Just saying. They named it. Okay. I feel bad. No art for you. Oh, man. All right. So that's a bit of a spoiler tonight. I didn't want to get in trouble. I didn't put in a video 5 minutes later. Yes. Yes, I didn't want to. But I need to explain how it came up. And I feel okay that we netrunnered. Like we did honestly do a netrunner there, which feels fine. Real scoop, we know a name of a card. Spoiler privilege revoked. If there's any, I'll let you know. And if, okay, hold on. If NSG is upset at me, they can be upset with me and it's well within their rights. And I will respect that. That's okay. But we did a netrunner. How many instances of the symbol? I'm going for a clean 6. I think that's about accurate. Yeah, you were there. You could have said, don't do it. Nobody said, don't do it. So you technically played your 3rd game of Netrunner tonight. What faction will this art be for? I mean, given what happens in the art for the price, anything called an eye for, yeah, it's like not a particularly spoiler telling honor. It's fine. Thanks, Morgan. Morgan gave us permission. It's fine. I didn't know this. This is cool. These seem to be from the convention recently that happened on, I think it was in Emerald City, so the West Coast. I'm assuming this is not bespoke art commissioned for a stand. So this is probably art from the set. This is actually really cool. This is the better scoops on this right now. Mauricio art. Yes, this is definitely Mauricio Herrera. Mauricio Herrera's art is fantastic. It has this like really interesting, slightly cartoony vibe to it with like bold outlines. So like we saw a bunch of Mauricio really commonly, like things like monkeys. Pivot. 3 hours later and 10 minutes in my 40-minute video I want to release before spoilers. No, Jeff, you got this. Oh man. Made 2 credits. So Mauricio Herrera does fantastic art, and Mauricio Herrera has been doing art all the way from back in the day. And his art style is like surprisingly, well, not this one, but surprisingly like different than a lot of other Netrunner art. Big fan of it. He's been doing it for like 10 years. So this is clearly a Mauricio Herrera art. I'm assuming it's a runner card. Nothing else would really make sense. I'm trying to tell if this person's running rollerblades. It looks like they're just sprinting at full speed, but I could not tell you what faction this card will be in because this person's actually kind of dressed like I imagine a neutral runner. Generally the people are a bit color coded for better for worse. Good thing I have the DC splash ready. Sorry, Jeff. That's less Bellaccio for you, I guess, huh? Could be something running from Corpo Goons. That's true. But I feel like the focus of this art, oh, maybe you're right? Like this is the same sort of Mauricio, mind you, did, and I think this is actually one of my favorite arts in a long time, is B. Like where you saw a buffoon of a runner get goofed up by the Terminator. And this is the exact same sort of idea, maybe. But this person seems like they're kind of more in control, which would suggest more as a runner card. The blue in the background, it's blue, so criminally enough look like an anarch. I couldn't tell you what this is. But if you ask me, when it comes to like forward mobility, I would say that's the most shaper thing in the set so far with things like Joyride. I just thought this person would be on rollerblades. They're not. Can't tell. What page were you on to find the card name? You want me to let you know my secrets? I was on the store page, which has the banner. I was looking for art. I was like, I need background art, and I just wanted one. I know this is publicly available, so I tried to like inspect source, and I accidentally found it. Yeah, it's the store page. It's really, really high resolution. The art's gorgeous. Mind you, actually, that's probably the bigger scoop here is you can see the full art, and it's really quite good. Because we only saw the full card art. This is something that actually, unfortunately, doesn't happen. I feel like I'm not going to reveal the art because maybe I feel like I'm going a bit too far. But you see the full art, which is more than we've seen on this image. Like you see slightly behind, slightly below. Like you see the people's feet. There's no like lore stuff to it, but it's like a quite nice art. And there's a lot of Netrunner art that you don't ever see the full art because it's cropped in a frame. Trey's tagged. I don't know what this is. Trace attempt initiated. Yeah, right? Can you show me where you opened it? Okay. And at what address are you at? Andre's tagged. Looking at the sys update picture really makes me appreciate Corp Town art. Like the original Corp Town art? The original Corp Town art's super charming. Because it has like that 50s aesthetic. There's some way to spell it. Forgot about some of the servers. So this art is the system update one, but the Chrome City one is like particularly charming. Yeah, I like this one. Some Matt Zellinger too, which is quite cool. But like that sort of Wayland aesthetic, and the background is also like the same sort of exact same color and the exact same art as what was that NBN one that was an advertisement that got 2 credits when you touched it? It's the exact same color scheme, and it's like basically this shot here zoomed in. Product placement, thank you. Which I didn't realize was a Zellinger. Oh, this was 2019. Oh, it's not. I just thought it was. Oh, it is a Zellinger. But Zellinger has the same way to do like digital billboards. I thought the colors were slightly closer, but yeah, it's the exact same sort of idea. Man, Matt Zellinger's art, huge fan of it, obviously. I always loved Adjusted Chronotype. Yeah, Adjusted Chronotype, you're right. There's a couple of those 50s aesthetic from this era. Adjusted Chronotype, which was from the set after, has, oh no, same set, has the 50s archetype. And then there was the one with the shark. What's the shark one? That's like a pretty unassuming card. I love product placement art. Yeah, they're really quite good. This is Crystal Ben. I'm not sure who Crystal Ben is. I don't know what that art is. Enhanced Vision? I think that's it, Pat. You're right. So there's a couple cards that have that sort of like, yeah, 50s retro throwback. This one's even older. I would say this is like 30s to 40s type art, not 50s. Yeah, it's cool. Man, there's a couple artists I was looking into recently, especially because we're like looking at the mouse stuff. Man, mouseless art. Man, it's so good. Yagayoshi. This art is sick. And then I was looking through this because I was looking at Mwanza, but because I was looking at Mwanza to see like Yagayoshi. I might be saying that wrong. Like looking at the art is so interesting because Mwanza is really cool, right? The Afro-punk kind of towers of Mwanza. Mind you, Mwanza is in Tanzania on the other side of the Lake Victoria. But then you see this sort of like theme through his art. Like these slanting in, sort of like rhombus-like shapes, like Mumbed Temple, same thing, perspective, strong slant in. Mouseless, the biggest slant ins. The art on this is gorgeous, so many slant ins. And then you have Arya About Attack. It's like you're living inside the slant ins. And then you have like the clearing lines here. Oh man, this art, very, very good artist. I was just looking at Mwanza just like before the stream. I was like, this stuff is sick. Yeah, Mumbed Temple is gorgeous. Anyways, Mauricio's back. That's sick. What do we think this is? I'm going to say Shaper. It doesn't exactly look Shaper. Kind of looks neutral, honestly. I would say neutral. The stuff has great perspective, yeah. Some of the best perspective stuff. You really feel like you're inside it, which is phenomenal. Even Caldera, yeah, even Caldera has that sort of like rhombus lean. It's so cool. Netrunner art is mesmerizing at times. Best part of having them IRL. Yeah, physical cards. It's sick. I don't know what's the stack here. Do you want to say neutral? It kind of has the tone of neutral. And like Mauricio's been doing a lot of neutral cards, right? Like Vera's not neutral, but like B is neutral. Crim? I like it to be Crim. I just don't think it's Crim. Hivemind says Crim. Okay, Hivemind says Crim. We're saying Crim Hivemind. Okay. Hey, Bombers. Crim. What faction will this art be for? Also, what the heck is this? What is this? Is this just an NSG always be running promo? Could be the 2 influence event. It could be, yeah. This does not have the bravado of a card that costs 2 influence. You know what I mean? And it's not disrespected, but I imagine a card that costs 2 influence is going to be like weird, not just like person running. There's no way that you want to spend 2 influence on person running down street. That looks Crim AF. Then where's the blue? Where's the blue, Solomir? I think it's Anarch. Okay. This, I don't know what this is. This actually looks very different than anything we've seen before. Did I stick it? Yeah, the Hivemind wins, unfortunately. I don't know who any of these characters are. This is an art style that I don't think I recognize. What artist is this? And like, who are these characters? Wildside 2? If it was Wildside 2, they would all be animaled out. Now, what's really wild here is that there's like a an owl robot. Like, what the heck is that? I think that's the coolest part of this, is there's an owl robot. By Wounder, we tag you, but used to play Shoot the Moon? Oh, enjoy your eyes. That's really nice, actually. Wait, did they fix it? Shoot the Moon for the old heads was a card that used tags to res ice for free. It was sick. Tracker? So this looks like a runner card. But like, what the heck is this? There's way too many people in this for not this to be like some sort of collective connection, but this looks really different than anything else. Recon Drone? Oh yeah, Recon Drone though is like a raven. It's not an owl. Yeah, it's a little like crow. Birds are cool. Kind of shows all factions? Yeah, maybe. Well, no, these all look like Anarchs. But that's maybe because they just have colored hair. That's how you determine what an Anarch is, unfortunately. As support, yeah. Con cameo, yeah. I don't know. These look like the same sort of riffraff you would see around like Run Amok or whatever. Right? Like the groups of like huddled people is usually an Anarch thing, because Anarch has more of a collective vibe. With criminals is not often like that. Yeah, like this is the closest card I would say that is akin to that, and like that kind of colors it as heavily Anarch. Man, their clothes is really sick in this. Again, shout out to RC Torres. Yeah, I would say Anarch. I just don't know what the heck this is. Like this looks too wide for an art. Like this looks strange. Like it looks good. It's just like, this is a really weird aspect ratio for a card. So there's clearly something cut off. Like you can't frame this well. Like red team. Yeah, it's in a blue team, red team. Okay, this one I do know the answer for. Do you know where this showed up? Does anybody remember where this was from? Because I actually did ask about this, so I can't play this one because I know the answer. But does anyone know where this art came from? Yeah, Cold has it. This was the art from 2-Byte Ike. So the story about 2-Byte Ike, I'm not going to spoil more of it because it slaps. It totally went over my head because I never read The Headless Horseman, but there's a lot of references in there. That is Aaron's. Apex 2. Yeah, so I know this. So the question is, what faction will this art be for? And there's all the options, and also it won't be on a card from RWR. Was that an option here? Yeah, it was an option here. Interesting. Alternatively, a 2 influence event. This feels disrespectful to the art, but I don't think this is 2 influence event art. I think the 2 influence event has to be like buck wild. Like the 2 influence event could be the win condition, right? Like that's what I'm expecting. Is this the Minga art? No, I don't think so. I don't think, maybe? It's hard to tell. It has a lot of digital artifacting, but it might have too much. Maybe it isn't a Minga. Yeah, you could be right. It wouldn't be my first call. This reminds me a lot of like earlier NSG art. Threat 6 APOC. It's giving me Behold vibes. Yeah, that is a Minga then. Maybe it is a Minga. It does look a Minga, like. Red Shouts Jinteki, yeah, Red Shouts Jinteki are Anarch. It shouts Destruction too, which again, we know someone lost their hand. Mythic Ice Art. That'd be cool. Anyways, I can't do this one because I kind of know this a bit. What are y'all thinking? It looks like a lot of folks are saying Jinteki because it is scary looking and sharp and red. It's that simple. We're that simple. Red, yes. Okay. All right. Is that it? What time? Come on. What is UTC even? What is UTC? Where is UTC? Greenwich. It's 4:20. Nice. In UTC. So that means it's 5 hours ahead. Nice. So when will the scoops be posted? I'm assuming at like noon, which is the worst ruse because nobody functionally knows if noon is noon AM or noon PM. What is noon? Does anybody know if noon is AM or PM? This is the hardest question on the whole damn thing, is understanding when noon is. Yeah? Okay. Noon is PM? Apparently everyone knows. Okay, I just outed myself as being an absolute buffoon. Just like stumbling through time. It's the one answer that the most assured response is when is noon? Okay, I don't know it. All right, this is the hardest part because we're gonna have to work together as a hive mind to get through this. The freestyle section. I never know. Thank you, Eric. I needed that actually. 9 EDT. The freestyle section, write your own personal prediction. 1 point per character. So we really are incentivized to go heavy on characters. I don't know the months. I don't know. It makes no sense that it somehow goes from 12 PM to a smaller number at 1 PM. Oh, that's a good way to remember that. Try to keep it from being too vague and on a reasonable timeline. It's not Anarch will win 80% of all COs in the next year, for example. Okay, so basically Utati needs to be able to do something. Let's not do it about the future. Let's do it about the set. Let's do it about the set. I reserve the right to deny points. You're being too silly with this one. Okay, we're not going to run into that. So using a lot of characters, we want to make a thing. We want to make a prediction. How's everyone scoops with these droids? Is good. We've been doing a survey. We've been going good. How many icebreakers? That's a good call. How many icebreakers do you think it's going to be? My wife mocks me savagely. I remember that at midnight's the next day, and it would be no sense to be 1 hour of PM before AM on the same day. Come over around noon tomorrow, Andre. I'm just gonna head out now to be sure. Yeah, come over at 12 PM. Crap, I have to head out. My GF used to mock me for it, and now I mock her with it. The months, you gotta do the hands. I do the hands all the time. Remember the last month's? Say Jason D. That's the easiest. Jason D. Jason Derulo. Okay, what's our prediction? Andre will blame Chad if these questions are wrong and take full credit if these questions are right. I feel like that was a bit unkind. What it's going to be is that if it's wrong, I will blame Chad. And if it's right, I will congratulate Chad. It's that simple. If it's wrong, it's definitely your problem. But if it's right, it's everyone's success. In fact, I will change the script. If it's wrong, it's entirely my problem. I'll do the best we can do here. And if it's right, it's all yours. I'm fine with that. I've always remembered it by using military time. 0 equals AM, 12 equals PM. Oh, that's actually the best one to do. That's really good. So here in Quebec, they just use 24-hour, which is like very specific, not a Canada thing, but a Quebec Canada thing. And so like, we don't have to have these issues. You just say, oh, it's 0 o'clock. And you'd be like, okay, it's midnight. They'd be like, I'll be over at 16. You'd be like, okay, easy. Can we go back to the others then? No. There's no way I'm going to let you have that. And then we're going to go back. I revise all my hivemind answers to ensure maximum wrongness. Yeah, perfect. 0 equals AM is the best way to do it. Okay, we need to make one prediction. This is it. Do you want to just say how many icebreakers there are? Or are we going to ask about Kimberlite? There's no way we're going to find out about the Kimberlite field. A fun one could be to try to guess the Wayland ID ability. I can't play this game then. I'm sorry. Chat can do it. Do you want to guess an ID ability? Time for bingo after this? Yeah, Jai, let me open up real quick. Okay. If 2 people can agree on one thing, we'll put it in there. It's that simple. Hivemind is at least more than 1 person. Okay, Jai sent this over too. This is the bingo. Green level clearance is a link. Bingo. Open image. Open link. It worked. Okay, hold on. We'll get back there. The cool owl will be a console. I actually really like that. 5 icebreakers. Guess the name of the new sun. I love that chat has solved the perpetual AM/PM problem after years of me just not caring enough to figure out a way to learn it. Just ask for help, Eric. It's the easiest thing. We can all do it together. It's what I did. I said, hey, I'm really embarrassed about this problem and I'm going to out myself publicly, assuming everyone's on the same page. And everyone's like, no, but we can help you with that. Ask ChatGPT. I'm not bringing ChatGPT in this. I want the noon is PM because it's post making sense. I don't think I said hi as much as you dunked on me for PM, but yeah. Post making sense. I think I make more sense in the evening. Big meow. Big meow right now. What are we doing on time? Okay, we got to close this out relatively soon. Come on, one more, please. Don't leave me hanging here. I can't write in this box. I'm not allowed. I only knew it because I got wrong earlier today. Now you're an expert. You only have to stay 1 lesson ahead of the students. There'll be a card that lets you auto win the game if the difference in agenda points is 5+. But that's not good. Then you don't play the game. What faction will have the card with the most cluttered text box? Oh, easy. Not easy. Oh, that's a good question. Yeah. What faction is going to have? That's a really good one. Which faction do you think is going to have the most text on card on average? Because then Utati has to calculate it. And that is a really fun prison to put Utati in. Because then, yeah, that's a good one. What faction on average is going to have the most text per card box? I agree with a lot of people when pronouncing Hades that way. Oh man, there'll be a grand total around 65 cards between the 4 core factions, 3 runner faction. All those cards will be playable, so will have some impact on the meta as a whole. It's gotta be a shaper? I don't know, Fire, you say that, but then like Jason comes from the top rope and writes Joyride. That's 2 words. Figured that one out already. Are we including phaser text or just mechanics? Yes. The answer is yes. Right? Like, welcome to the Rizeki school of thought. Like, some shaper cards are very, very svelte, more than others. I know these are not all NSG cards, but I feel like, what's the most wordy criminal card? Like Shaper Hardware? Yeah, it's true. Unfortunately, the way that charge works requires a lot of words. It does require a lot of words. Backup Plan is the wordiest criminal card. Oh yeah, that one's like particularly heinous. Can't, like, there's even flavor text on it, which like I respect that the hustle. Oh, op is really, yeah, op is obviously a lot of text on op, but like every word's a painting. The HB is a good call with weird windows for D-res. Oh, HB is probably very bad. Yeah, for words. Jinteki because of side games. Side games are technically really short. Well, no, they're probably not already, but side game is probably just side game, but they probably explain the reminder text anyways, because they do. I just don't think we're gonna see a lot of side game cards. Like we generally see 1 or 2. Adrian Sace, yeah, Adrian Sace is probably the winner of most words on a card in the whole set. And like, can't flavor text this guy. This guy needed more flavor text. Like this guy deserved flavor text way more than anyone else, but unfortunately. Putting FT on a card with a decent chunk of text is actually easier than most folks think. Yeah, okay. Morgan's out there like looking at what's it called? I don't even know the card, so I can't land this joke. What's that 2-0 Wayland agenda? You just keep crunching that font size down, right? Reminder text does count, unfortunately. Check the reviews for Adrian. Oh yeah, because the flavor text came out. Yeah, I remember that. There was even here for rulings for a while. Sometimes we write flavor text. Oh, this is Morgan. For a card before we know there'll be space for it or not. This one has cards, so here percent of the flavor text. It's not that he can predict the future. It's just that he's seen it all before. Yes, right. I remember there was standoff. Yeah. This is the standoff school. You can get flavor text on anything. Look at all that space we have for activities. It's great. The other 2 sizzles will be art by Yao Queiroz. Joao did the art for that's a really cool call though. Joao did the art for Vovo, right? And I'm assuming Joao did the art. I don't know if I'm pronouncing the name right. Did also the art for Vovo and Adrian. Yeah, that's really cool. Oh, Vovo also has additional text? Get out. Ah, no, that was wrong. I'm way too big. He single-handedly kept several departments running, provided they give him all the mint tea he wants. What a nice guy. There, flavor text erratas? Yeah. You get your own version. It just has flavor text. The back, just art flavor text. Sorry, Patrick, Adrian's flavor text kick butt? Yeah, it's good. Okay. I'm going to stick to the words per card. We just need to decide whether we think it's going to be... We did errata... Wait, there's Gateway Remaster flavor text? Really? Is that stuff updated on NRDB? We have to make this as wordy as possible, though, because it's 0.1 point per character. Yeah, flavor text errata seems important. Why was that not advertised? What's going on? Which of my cards got better and which ones got worse? Because that's going to affect what I bring to an event, I think, maybe? We're predicting wordiest single card, average just wordiest faction. We want to do average wordiest faction because then Utati unfortunately has to count them, and that kind of tickles me. Most words on the card, something that has cybercode text in the art. Added some attributions. Oh, cool. Yeah, exactly. The meta irony of getting points per character. Okay, so we, the hivemind, believe that out of all of the 7 factions, and we list them, I'll spell it out, has Byroid, Jinteki, NBN, which doesn't actually stand for anything, Wayland, Anarch, 7 factions, oh, don't worry, we'll fix this, Criminal, Shaper, and the neutral factions, Neutral Corporation, and Neutral Runner. We'll do inappropriate Oxford comma because it is a character. That the faction which will have the most characters per card, including both title. Oh, this is going to be really bad for Utati. Subtypes, flavor text, mechanics text, art attributions, and really anything else that is written in words. We'll do a second nested bracket type, including but not limited to any of the words in the art itself. Third kind of bracket, language, ambivalent, close first bracket, close second bracket, close third bracket. We're getting there. Really earning that 0.1? Yeah, this is good. This is good. The faction that will have the most characters per card will be... well, we have to make our choice now. I did the boilerplate. I thought at this point we would dunk in the answer. Don't meow at me. Oh, I got a sad meow. I'm gonna go for HB. There's a lot of there's a lot of text on D-Res cards, right? Like, how bad is Echo's? Not that bad. Yeah, House Bar is actually the longest one. Not both, but as of also Jinteki Corporation, the House Corporation. Yeah, you're right. It's definitely the Wayland Consortium. Yeah, that's actually better. The Wayland Consortium will be... Yeah, I think we'll be Hod's Byroid. Byroid. We are confident of this. That seems fine. That's a lot of characters. I don't think you can tweet that. Okay. We feeling good? I'm worried that we spent so long in the forum that once we hit save, it's not going to eat any of our answers. Yeah, that's good. As we are many, and we are, yeah, we are good. Yeah, good. That's fine. That totally invalidates the whole thing, though. Okay, we're gonna send that in. Good luck, Utati, unfortunately. I think we did okay. I honestly think we did pretty fine there. Oh, man. Okay, great stuff. We snuck that in. I just want to make sure that we got this in before there's any potential spoilers, which, again, are coming at noon. Nothing yet. Noon PM or whatever. I didn't learn anything. Okay, that's fun. Thank you for participating. I didn't know y'all wanted to do that. I wanted to do that, and I think we did great. We'll find out our response really soon. Bingo time. Yeah, bingo time, and then we have an important one to do, okay? Okay, hear me out. Do you want to do the important one first, and then we'll hold off bingo so that you listen to the important one? Or do you want to just go straight to... I'm doing the important one first. This has been fun. I quit all the A&R social spaces ahead of preview week, so this is the first bit of speculation I've seen in a week. You think this is speculation, Morgan? This is just us. I don't know what we're upset about. I want to get fired up. I did a whole video about speculation yesterday, Morgan, if you want to check it out. Okay, we're gonna do an important one first, and then we're gonna get to a less important one. And by no, sorry, we're gonna get to bingo, not less important, a fun thing. We're gonna do our fun thing. Okay, hold on. This is really important. So, real talk, serious tone. I was talking recently to some NSG folks, and just to be clear, this is a thing that NSG wants your help with. It's playtesting. This is a really, really important thing. And this is a huge year when it comes to NSG, because not only, of course, is a set coming out in a couple of weeks, good luck playtesting that. It's already locked in, too late. They've already nailed it. But more so, this year is really important because Dawn is coming out, and that's going to be a huge start to a big part of Netrunner, where Netrunner now is no longer FFG at all. And that's a really big jump. That's going to require a lot of hands on a lot of decks to make sure that this is done right. It's actually a really big deal. Like, it's very likely that within the first day even, yeah, of this release of a new set, more people played games than in all of playtesting. Like, that's ridiculous and that's wild, right? But that's a really big thing. It's like there's only so many people playtesting. There's only so many angles. Things can slip through the cracks. It's as simple as changing small numbers. This stuff is really, really important. And so NSG is constantly looking for more playtesters. And if you're interested in playtesting, let me tell you a bit about this, because I have some things to read, because I was told by Peter, who runs the playtesting stuff, some big points, because understanding what playtesting is actually really important. Because firstly, playtesting is not for competitive play. This is not SBL testing, which is a separate form. Mind you, I'm going to link this form and I'll have it in the description. I wish they had a nicer vanity or something like that. But if you're looking at this to be like, I'm not a competitive player, I don't care about competitive playtesting, this is not SBL, MWL, organized playtesting. This is just make the set fun playtesting, make the set interesting. And NSG is constantly looking for people of all skill levels, of all playstyles. It doesn't matter if you're a casual player. It doesn't matter that if you're playing standard competitive, you're playing startup, if you play kitchen table, if you play eternal, it doesn't matter. They just want folks to get their hands on cards and get feedback from those cards, get honest, good feedback. And it's that simple. So if you want to sign up, mind you, what's expected of you, let me just read this, because I have a couple of talking points really quickly. So in short, Peter said, I'm going to largely paraphrase because I did not make these into my own words. They're trying to get people into playtesting. There's already a lot of people you can ask around. There's a lot of people you probably know that are in playtesting, ask for their experience. But this is the link to the form. This form is reviewed periodically, and generally this is how people get into playtesting. So super, super, super important. So in terms of expectations, if you want to get into playtesting, the expectations are actually really simple. Firstly, just reasonable behavior. So just don't be a shithead. If you were getting past the NSG guidelines, you're in a good spot. So I'm pretty sure if you're watching this, you're already in a great spot. You just want to be good. Like, okay, fine. But then the second thing is really important. Do whatever you want, really. They are looking for people to play either online on their private clients, or they send you the stuff. And admittedly, the stuff looks a bit rough because it doesn't have art, it has placeholder stuff, but you can print and play stuff with you, your friends, your family, whatever the playtest group is, and to get feedback. And that's the second expectation. They just want you to chime in on feedback. They have some structured forums to be like, we did these games, these are our thoughts, these are ideas. We think this about this card, we think this about this card. That's it. I don't know what the process looks like. I don't do playtesting, but very specifically, playtesting is going to be kicking up a gear this year in preparation for Dawn. That Peter said that the playtesting environment, they're very going out of the way to make it more accessible this year in several ways. And they were currently in discussions of how that's going to happen. But all they're expecting is to play any number of games really in person on Eternal JNet platform. And when they play the games, provide feedback using the forms they provide, or occasionally, if you want, I believe, you can do discussions through Discord. Those discussions, again, have to be civil. Obviously, that's the don't be a shithead thing. So you can feel really strongly about something, you can present it. And at the end of the day, obviously, it's might not change the way that you want it to, and that's just kind of how playtesting is, because it's about getting a lot of people's opinions. And I think that's the most important thing. I think it's really easy for people to look at playtest and think this is for SBL grinders, and it's not. This is for people who want a fun set. There are different cards for different people. As much as we do tier lists for competitive standard and we talk about that sort of stuff, this game is big for a lot of people. So very specifically, if you don't think you're the person who should be playtesting, you probably should be playtesting. It's literally that simple. So if you want to get involved, you can find the link here. Again, I'm not playtesting. I generally try to keep myself as separate from NSG for a bunch of reasons, just so we can, talk about it as freely as we can and kind of attack their websites. But yeah, it's incredibly important that this is something you might consider, because it's a really important year, and any eyes, any feedback is so hype. And you can also make new friends, right? That's a big thing. You can meet new people. You want to regularly, consistently play Netrunner? Go meet some people who are also playtesting with you. It'd be sick. Anyways, that's my spiel. The link will be in the description. I wish there was a better link than this. Maybe NSG can make a vanity link, but this is the form. Fill this out. You might not get a response right away, but just getting involved. It's like a very simple form. It's like, what's your name? What is your background? Do whatever you want. Let me catch up on chat. Regular trash or busted conversations. I can't wait to have my crim opinions heard by a captive audience. Andre, spot on. Playtesting needs folks of literally every skill level or play intensity, etc., especially folks who can do IRL testing too. Yeah. Yeah, playing in person is actually something that's probably very hard to play test. Like the difference of playing World Tree or Op in person versus not in person is like a really big thing. Like I imagine that some amount of time that federal fundraising might not have come out if more people played it in person. That's my scathing criticism of federal fundraising. But that's the sort of thing where like actually paper play is incredibly important. And I don't know, but might not get that much. Probably people would disagree with me on that point, but there's actually a really big thing about playing things on JNet versus on person. And there's a lot to be learned on both sides. Come, make Don the best core set Netrunner has had. Yeah, I'm really excited about it. We also have silly playtest art for whip cards. Yes, and you get to hear the silly playtest names, which like I'm so invested in. I don't hear enough unless Jeff messes up, and I love it. I mean, memorable card art makes the game easier to play. Sillier is probably better, yeah. You can hop on a call with a dozen people every month or so and have a fun time chatting with me and others about how a card feels. Oh, super cool. Federal is fine until combined with DBS. Yeah, there's ways it gets worse. I'm not that critical about federal fundraising. I just think there's a big difference between playing in person and playing online. Rip Ocean Source. I've had multiple playtesters tell me that becoming better players or understand the game or just game design itself better from being a playtester. Yeah, I do a lot of IRL testing and my dad just so I can try cards out in person. Yeah, it's super important. So anyways, get involved. If you do get involved and you have good feedback, bad feedback, please kindly let me know. Let NSG know, because they want to make this process as easy as possible, as approachable as possible. Because again, your voice really matters. You can really shape the game. It's just that simple. And I don't know what the expectations are of how many games you play. It's probably not that big. So drop in, see some new cards, get excited, try some new decks, get some feedback, and you're on your way. Okay. With that out of the way. Bingo. Scoops bingo. Got that ugly Discord there. Okay, here we go. Jai made this, right? Yeah. So free in the middle. RWR Scoop Season Bingo. I'll share the link to this as much as it's going to be an ugly link. You can find green level clearance. New Wayland Wonder Ice. Okay, I'm going to go through this and I'm going to... I can't do this because I know some stuff. So it's really, really hard. But like things that I would want to see. New Wayland Wonder Ice. I'd be really surprised. We had the setup for that with like Treeline and it wasn't pursued. So I think there's a chance that we won't see anything like that. Trojans. That's a free spot, I guess. New ID is unplayably bad. I don't think that will get crossed out. That's really surprising. I don't think NSG is dropping oh, actually, Mercury. New ID is ridiculous overtuned. What ID has come out that's been ridiculously overtuned? Wonder? Yeah, Tehran. So Wonder, right? So there's a whole series of Wayland Ice that generally scales up with advancements that are themed after the 7 ancient wonders of the world. So Pharos is the Pharos of Light Alexandria. Hold on. What's she fighting? She's fighting something. The Mouseless is the Mausoleum at Halicarnassus. Whoredom, being the Latin word for garden, is meant to be the Hanging Gardens of Babylon. So we're missing a couple, I think. I just couldn't tell you which ones. She's having a good time. She's hunting up there at height. Statue of Zeus and Temple of Artemis not called yet. Yeah, I think that's right. This is the Colossus of Rhodes, obviously. So we're missing a couple. I don't know if we expect to see a full set because some of these are like FFG time stuff as much as Pharos is modern. I think those new ID squares are about response to the actual ID power. Yeah, a cat. What is a cat meant to be though? Oh, it's the pyramids of Giza. Yeah, exactly. So sorry. Yeah, a cat is Giza, of course. Anyways, I don't know if we'll see more. I think we had the opportunity again with Treeline, but I think so far we're seeing more things that are like themed locally as much as like, obviously there's no Aket in whenever Aket came out. It was just because it's digital. The Parthenon, is the Parthenon classically one? There's like more than 7 ancient wonders, unfortunately. Thesis or something? It'd be a while since I played 7 wonders. Yeah. I don't know all of them off by hand. I think I know most of them. New ID is ridiculous overtuned. I think there's more likely that than unplayably bad. New card unprintable before gank loop nerf. Oh, that's cool. That's a good box. Damn, that's a good box. That is actually a really interesting thing to understand that the gank loop nerf had an impact on testing and whether that was a known concept. Because we mentioned this earlier, that I think on the Hivemind, we predicted that there'll be a change to the ban list when the set comes out, which means that there's a bunch of things that are tested understanding. And the change to the gank loop nerf, I wouldn't be surprised if that was known. And so, yeah, maybe that matters. Classic 7 wonders of the ancient world are. Wonder Ice for Cristo Redentor would be hype. Yeah, I wonder if the Cristo Redentor is going to come up. That actually is a really good guess for our Hivemind guess. Mind you, if you don't know, the Cristo Redentor is the Jesus over, I think Rio? It's not Sao Paulo. I think it's Rio. Threat X. I don't think we're going to see Threat X. I think NSG is going to keep it very simple and just do Threat 3 and Threat 4 for the whole set. I'm pretty sure they've confirmed that. Not for the whole cycle. They said for the whole set, but I don't think we're going to see other numbers than Threat 3 and 4. I feel like NSG has said that, but citation totally needed. Great Pyramid. So we've seen it. Hanging Garden seen it. Temple of Artemis haven't seen it. Statue of Zeus haven't seen it. Mausoleum of Halicarnassus seen it. Colossus Road seen a Lighthouse. So we're missing 2. 2 Byte Ike reference. Love to see it. I think 2 Byte Ike, from talking to Erin, was done as a one-off. She was like, I think she said that it was kind of like a one-off thing, but that doesn't mean that 2 Byte Ike couldn't have been worked into the set since then. But I'm pretty sure 2 Byte Ike was Erin just wanting to do something for Halloween, which, like, power to her. That kicks so much ass. So I don't know. I wanted to avoid the Cristo Redentor entirely as an important religious icon and didn't want to be trite with it. Oh, that's fair. That's cool. Yeah. It's weird. Like, there's religious iconography throughout Netrunner. And obviously some people feel different about that, right? Like, can you see a breaker called Jesus? No. But you do other see, like, biblical options when it comes to other things. And it's a weird thing to be like, how's your religion? How's your deities depicted? Because there's a lot of deities in Netrunner. Aaron was like, Morgan, I want to write something for Halloween. I said, okay, yeah, sick. I like that. Team Dog, 100%. We know there's dogs on the set. That's basically a free spot. I don't know, Jai. Believe it or not, Anansi. Why is it worded like that? Yeah, 100%. Believe it or not, Anansi. JNet lag on release date? No, I don't think so. I don't think it's going to be. I'm hoping. Op ban, 100% not. Stealth support? No. Misdirection nearprint? No, I don't think so. I don't think it's healthy. I think having a card like Misdirection is not what NSG wants to do. I think NSG wants to make cards that are more interesting than Misdirection, which admittedly 2 clicks is something, but like this is FFG design, not NSG design, with no disrespect. It just feels different. More side games, I could bet on it. Hoshiko ban, no. Blockchain becomes a good card. No, you can't do that without banning Cleaver. I think it's that simple. HBID power as political asset? I don't know what that sentence means. Still no good NBN ice? Wait, what? There's great NBN ice. What is this? What do you mean still? Jai, what are you doing? What's with the face? Side games are awesome. I think I think those eyes look nice. Those are like good eyes. Those are like wide, happy eyes. HB/Crim D-Res competition. I would bet big money on that. Obelisk nearprint. I don't know. Is a Nobsi a reference? Wait, is there a T review with a Nobsi in it? Why is that funny? What's a Nobsi? Or did Patrick just say Anansi wrong? Play as our Lord Savior Mati. Run HQ Anansi. Run RD Anansi. On archives Anansi. Rashida Anansi. All right. Okay. All right. Andre, why is it worded like that? Suggest you're familiar with the Glorious Energy review of an Enter. I don't know. No. What is this? Just a glimpse into what is playing with 2 is like playing Poser Polana. Only 1 ice in hand. Put in front of HQ. Defend against Scowy criminals. Indexing 7 points stolen. Install a data cast. Believe it or not in Nancy. Okay. So I'm getting it. Believe it or not in Nancy. Okay. Fantastic. I don't know how to say yes to that besides yes. Obelisk nearprint. I'd be surprised. I'd really like it. I do think a tag console is sick. Some whack AF Eternal combo, almost guaranteed. Tag me Zaya becomes broken. I'd actually be surprised about that. Because the more I think about it, the more I'm convinced that the set is not promoting tag me, but it's promoting like tag me, untag me. Like not, I'd be really stoked if Sebastio could play both untag me, tag me, and like dodge tag me. But I'm pretty sure it's going to be hard to do all of that, but I'd be very happy. Bologna ban. I feel like so much of the NBN set has to support Epiphany that it's going to be hard to remove Bologna and not support everyone sufficiently, right? One Liga Art's on average what we expect. I think 1 Liga Art is what like budget entails, I imagine. How NSG deploys the Liga Art, that is like the coolest thing. Because like NSG goes out the way to deploy Liga Arts in the most banger ways. It's going to pull a Fuji with Bologna? Maybe? That does not make sense. So if we do Liga, and then we search by release date, sort by release date. I believe Liga's been 1 per set, right? So Liga did a bunch for System Gateway. Why did I not do image? So yeah, Tucana the last set, World Tree the last set, and then a bunch in System Gateway, all the Shaper stuff. But yeah, World Tree Tucana, like Liga's been just getting the coolest art. So I don't know how that's done, because Liga obviously has a really good style. Specifically, like you don't ask Liga to draw a building, you ask Liga to draw cyberspace. Not that Liga couldn't do a great job drawing a building, but like, why'd you call Liga to draw a building? So like understanding what the cool Liga card is sick. Deploy, you mean like what cards we put them on? Yes. Like what cards each artist gets paired to, because there's been a constant thing of certain artists being paired up with certain like depictions of cyberspace for certain factions and stuff like that. I can talk about how we pick Liga for stuff, to be honest, like right now, or you will later, because yeah, I'm down to hear it. I think it's really cool. But like the fact that Liga got 2 cards back to back that are about like creativity and board building is so interesting. And I don't know if that was done intentionally or not. Right? Like Tucana is the search your deck, reduce cost by 3, right? And then World Tree is like search your deck, reduce cost by 3. It's like very goofy that Liga got 2 of these cards. Still on Tucana on a playmat. I worry that Tucana, maybe on a playmat's good, but I feel like this art is maybe taller than it is wide. So maybe it doesn't playmat okay? Maybe it does. Praise Tucana. Yeah, really great. Just fantastic art. Such good art. It's a mix of when she's available, what cards we have ready for her, and what cards we think would be good matches for her style. Sometimes it's narrative-related choices, too. The mouths are open, blaring sirens never to seize. Yeah, I think that's what's expected. That's really good. I like that there's choice. Excuse me. It'd be silly to assume that there's not a lot of consideration put into it. But I'm glad that it is the way that you want it to be. Sometimes Liga will just DM me and be like, oh, by the way, I have a couple spare weeks. Oh, that's sick. That's really good. Text lists. I think full art to kind of be incredibly hyped text lists. I've said this before, and I think there's reasons to not do it, but I wish alt arts came with the back being full art with nothing on it. But it's not always possible, because there's a chance that this art does not go lower than this bar. Right? Like that is just a problem that you have with certain arts, because certain artists do just print a square, while certain artists print wider things in different ways. But this is something we saw before in very few cards. I think mostly in identities, is that I would love it if the back of alt art cards, which are entirely useless unless you play sleeveless, and even then it doesn't always work because sometimes the quality is different. We might start doing that. Oh, I cannot confirm. I'll be so hype about it because it's the coolest thing. It's like the back of an alt art card is like the wastedest of space. So why not just put the full art with no text box and then have people, you know, sleeve it the way that they think is appropriate. And if it's a problem, your opponent gets you to force it. Like, I just think at a competitive tournament, you have to sleeve them the way that makes sense. But if I'm playing with my friends, I'm flipping to kind of the other way. Maybe it's a problem that doesn't have a trash cost. I think it's a bit more forgiving on other cards. I think I've brought this up before, and I think I've got reasonable criticism of why it's not an attainable goal. Texas Corp cards run into accessibility. Yeah, that's a problem. I think for runner cards, it makes the most sense. In fact, like one of my favorite things is, so this was on Eternal, and like one of the first worlds for a long time, is that they printed alt art versions of some of the old runner IDs. Because for the uninitiated, Class Act, the Nihilist, and the Artist feature old FFG characters that were some of the most enduring runners of their time. So Class Act, this shows Andromeda. And then so they printed this as a full art on the back, and on the front it was a full art and it has Andromeda's text. That's cool, because it was a nice way to make a cool promo without having to commission more art, and that's great. But I actually use the Andromeda alt art with the full Andromeda alt, and I sleeve it as a Class Act. Because again, in a runner deck, it's much more forgivable to have textless cards, because you'd be like, it's a Class Act. Nobody's accessing it and being like, what the hell is this? And I honestly wish I had 2 more copies of Andromeda Eternal. I don't know if they have those anymore. They're probably pretty rare. Just so I can have a full set of full art Class Acts, because nobody reads this anymore. Everyone's internalized this. The text on this changed so much, it was in your best interest to stop reading it at some point. Promo template on side, full art on other side. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you definitely have full art one side, everything proper on the other side. I like that a lot. I just think on corp cards, it can be maybe a bit problematic. On runner, it's a bit more straightforward. And I think we actually saw it even in FFG era sometimes, or maybe not. Maybe it was early NSG. It's hard to tell. Probably have some classic full arts. Yo, Jeff, if you have 2 extra ones, I'm looking for the full playset. Does producing that kind of custom double-sided card more than regular printing? No, costs the exact same. I am planning on distributing them in NPC Boston. So you're trying to get me to Boston, huh? You think I wasn't planning already, Jeff? Yeah, no, it doesn't cost any different, because at least like, okay, so if you get cards printed from Make Playing Cards, choosing a bespoke background for each art, your deck doesn't change the cost of the deck. So I don't know if it does for the way that NSG prints their stuff, but I know if you printed your stuff through Make Playing Cards classically, it didn't have any impact on cost. Mobius should be printed with tabs on the top and bottom of the card so you can twist and connect them. Hey, Gyro. Come to Boston. I'm planning on it. I need to look into a bit more. I probably have to ask around for like where to stay and stuff like that. But I definitely really quite want to. I'm going to be coming down for Mansion Runner, which is in April. And I have no doubt I'm going to just meet nice folks in the area and be like, there's no way I'm not coming down for Boston. Jeff Lurington Boston. It's that simple. He like just rubs his cards together. He's like, come down, get your full class X, man. I hope I can get to Worlds this year. Yeah, right? Yeah. I gotta do more planning about that stuff too. Anyways, it's getting quite late. We're probably, according to our survey, we are only 6 or 7 hours away from spoilers. I forget what it was. I had to learn something about the UTC. It's 4:20 there, whatever. That's all I remembered. So that's starting really soon. So on that note, get hype. Things are starting. Go to nullsignal.games. That's awesome. Obviously, we said this before. Daily cast starts tomorrow. Ysengrin SC. Join Ysengrin and some friends every day at 6 p.m. Eastern. That's 6 p.m. You can't forget it because we call it 18H here in Quebec. And tune in to talk about and share the hype and stuff like that. I'll be there as much as I can. Not as a guest, but in the chat being annoying, which is like, it's a great place to be. I think that's mostly it. I don't think there's any news. Again, do seriously think about playtesting. I think it's a fantastic opportunity. It's probably a lot of fun. You can learn about game design, get your stink on the game you love, and congratulations for the best ever Utati's last minute predictaganza. I will link in, mind you, the Jai's square on bingo. I think, what is the easiest line? Actually, this is probably worth looking at. What is the easiest line? I think some lines are totally cooked. Okay, so this line is cooked, so don't look at that. This line's cooked. So that means this line, believe it or not, Anansi, 100% overtune. Okay, still, oh, this one's not good. Can we do this line? Maybe, definitely, maybe. I don't know what that means. Probably not. Yes, yes, no. I don't think there's any line that makes sense. One column, new one, maybe. I don't think so. Maybe, definitely not. Probably. I honestly think the easiest one is diagonal. I think this one's the easiest, going from bottom left to top right. Because I don't know what else to do. Bottom or top row? Yes, 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 yes. Yeah, top row is okay. Top row is okay. Bottom row? I don't believe that. I think blown a band's really hard. Yeah. Blockchain would never be good. Yeah, the problem with blockchain is coming from Toronto, it's really funny. But the problem with blockchain is Cleaver. So if blockchain becomes good, it's because they ban Cleaver. It's that simple. So maybe. Will there be a new ban list? Yo, Zansuba, we don't know. We guessed on the survey that there would be. There's a precedent for that. We haven't had a ban list update in a while, I don't think. So there's a precedent that it will be. But much transaction ID though? But much transaction ID? Maybe. Yeah, you're right. Actually, in the case of expendable, I think there's a chance too, because if you're like filling your bin with a lot of cards quickly because there's like some armed asset protection support, yeah, maybe blockchain comes a better. But at the end of the day, like, yeah, blockchain's not bad. But if you break it with a cleaver on a turbine for like 3 credits in the mid game that they spent 6 like transactions on, like, is it actually good? No, you probably just play Pharaohs. Like, that's the hard part. I don't know what Team Dog is, but we know there's dogs on the art, so this is a free spot. Free spot is like literally pretty big. It's like 2 in the middle. Yeah, I don't know. I would guess that one. There's some that I'm just like so positive about that I think they just kill certain lines. Anywho, that's largely it. Oh, hold on. No, it's not. I want to give a huge thank you again. We're really deep in the tank making Netrunner content here for a while now. We're really, really stoked about it. And honestly, it's only largely possible because of Patreon. So thank you so much to all these names here and more. We are deep in the tank working on our spoilers content. Got to do some animation opening and then record the dang thing. We're coming out on Wednesday next week. I've said that before, so do check that out. I'm really excited for it, but thank you. Again, we have the daily cast patrons. These are just the Sure Gamble and the Green Mill patrons, and all the support's been incredibly appreciated. We actually have a new patron, excuse me, Sure Gamble patron, Vectors, the name. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Tried to update this graphic and the export crashed over dinner, so we're gonna update that sooner than later. But thank you so much. Also, if you see your name here and you want a little like nice little tag next to your badge, a little icon, a little bit of customization, hit me up. We can get that in. I'd be actually very happy to do that. It's really nice to get some customization in there. I think that's mostly it. We'll see you real soon. Again, tune in. Spoilers are starting. We're all really hype about the new set. That's of course. I think that's largely it. Thanks so much for dropping by. I'm getting a bit quiet here. My partner has fallen asleep, so I don't want to be too loud. But we'll be back on Tuesday in Spoilers Week, and then Thursday from then. Well played, GG. Later, Andre. Yeah, Morgan, thanks for dropping in, eh? Good luck with the launch of the set. You get to hear everyone's conspiracy theories, whether you're not in green level clearance or not. It's always a good time for everyone. Thanks for streaming. Joe, thanks so much for hanging out. And on that note, take care of yourselves. We'll see you in a bit. Ciao. Enjoy the spoilers.